Time. Leisure time. Did you ever stop to think how much leisure time you really have? Some of us put our leisure time to good use. And some of us, Ken Michaels, for example, spend most of our leisure time just moping.
Moping? He thinks I'm moping. Well, who wouldn't mope? There's nothing to do, nobody's around. You know how it is. I went down to the bowling alley, went over to the drugstore. None of the gang was there. All my friends are busy, so what's for me to do?
Do you suppose Ken has more leisure time than his friends do?
Huh? Well, no, I don't have more time. We all spend about the same amount of time in school, and the rest is leisure time. I've got nothing to do but wait for supper. My friends have more things to do. They're lucky.
Ken's pretty lucky, too.
Listen to that. All right, I'll bite. Why am I lucky?
Because you have so much leisure time. Time in which you can do things you enjoy. Time in which you don't have to work.
Like this, huh? Is that good?
Let me show you a few things. Suppose you had lived 100 years ago. What would you have been like? Take a look.
Where? Oh, is that me? Is that what I would have looked like 100 years ago?
Well, perhaps. But now, well, let's look back 100 years again and see someone else.
Who? Hey, that's my dad.
Young man, you get off that bed and get to work. After you clean out the stable, you can build some new steps for the back porch. While I work 72 hours a week, no son of mine is going to loaf.
72 hours?
12 hours a day, 6 days a week. Tomorrow morning, young men, you're going out to get a regular job. You can work too, and earn your keep.
Not so good, Ken? Well, let's try another picture. Say about 50 years ago.
Oh, hello, son. Well, say, I've got some new pictures for the stereoscope. We'll look at them tonight. Don't forget about your chores. Have them all done by the time I'm through work. And keep the wood box full.
Boy, how long will you work, Dad?
Why, 10 hours. 10 hours a day, every day except Sunday.
60 hours a week? Boy.
Well, Ken, let's take a look at your father's time as it really is today.
Hi, Dad. You sure don't work as long hours as they used to.
That's right, Ken. It's a wonderful thing to be able to do so much work in so little time. This 40-hour week suits me fine. And some people even work shorter hours nowadays. But by the way, Ken, how would you like to play a quick round of golf before supper? I think we can work it in. And then later I'd like to shellac that new bookcase I'm making.
Well, Ken?
Yes, Dad does enjoy his leisure time. And to think that a few years ago, people didn't have nearly so much time to themselves.
Yes, we've gained a lot of leisure time in the last century or so. All of us.
Wait a minute. All of us? Mother should hear you say that. She's always complaining that she doesn't have enough time.
Well, let's see about that. Can you picture your mother as she might have been 50 years ago?
I guess so.
My, that's hard work. It takes so much time, too. But that's woman's lot in life. Scrub clothes, carry water, bake bread, feed the chickens, till time to go to bed and then get up again to start all over again.
You see, Ken? Now, how about today?
My, this new washer certainly is a time saver. And I do need some extra time. Now, let's see, I want to do some shopping, but this first.
Wait a minute. This may be easier work, but it still looks like work.
Oh, well, I have to plan the program for the Women's Club next month. That's one of my favorite activities, you know. It does keep me busy, but, well, that's not work.
What do you think, Ken?
Well, Mother does have more leisure time now. But still, she's always busy. How does she find so many things to do? How can I find something to do with my extra time? Or for that matter, what about you? I don't know. It seems as if leisure time is a problem.
Well, let's see how your friends have met that problem.
Maybe leisure time is a problem. So much so that you're willing to dive back into this godforsaken series one last time. Well, I say one last time, but you know it's a lie. You know that's a lie. I know it's a lie. You know that I know that you know that I know it's a lie. So, when I said that, I was like moving my finger around between you and I, as if you could see it. You can't. But I hope you can imagine it, I suppose. Oh, one last time, you know, bring the philosopher VTuber out of retirement. Just for one more. Oh, one more Class of '09 stream. I say this like I'm not happy about it because, like, I do know that this translates to a higher than usual viewership. Like, I know, I'm aware, I'm not unaware of this. I'd be lying if I was like, no, I didn't know that people just came to this channel to watch Class of '09. Whoa, no, I would be lying. I'd be a terrible liar, and I'm not. That I am not. I'm very honest and I'm very upfront. I know exactly what this is. The problem, or rather, one of the things that I thought about as I decided to do this yesterday, because you could really kind of see the neurons firing in my head yesterday. They dropped this. Okay, everyone knows. Okay, I don't need an introduction. Everyone knows what they're here for. This is the Class of '09 Anime Pilot thing. And if you are not new to me and my presence, you're somewhat vaguely aware that I have streamed and played all the games and really liked the first two, despite being in shock for the better part of all of it, and extremely beyond disappointed for the third one. So everyone knows my stance here. I'm going to elaborate on that a little further, but that's just the background for what this is, right? This is a Class of '09 Anime Pilot. Should I do my introduction? I don't have an introduction. I did in the first month of streaming. I did, and I just stopped. Because I thought, well, you can read, right? It's on my channel. It's everything there. It's I'm Karis Euphranor. I'm the first and last philosopher VTuber. I'm the last librarian of Alexandria. I thought I didn't think I'd have to do it, and so I didn't do it. For a very long time. But you know what? This is a very special occasion. This is a special occasion because this is me coming out of the retirement home to face the terrors of what I'm about to deal with one last time. One last time is a lie because this is a pilot. There's going to be more than one episode. Let's hope that if it's good, it takes off, and if it's bad, it's buried forever. You know, I don't know if I want it to succeed yet. I will know when I see it. But before that, I have no goddamn clue. You're welcome for telling you about the animation. Yeah, thank you. So maybe it was in chat yesterday. What was I doing? I was flipping burgers. as the philosophy major does, right? And I was told towards the end of the stream, when I was like sort of winding down and chatting, that only moments ago did Wrath Club, I believe is the name of the channel, yeah, that runs this, has dropped the Class of '09 anime short. Now, it's exciting for me as a VTuber because that means I got my content sorted out for today. But as a fan, I am very much cautiously nervous. I want it to be good. I really do. But after the tragedy that is Flipside, I don't know how to feel anymore. I've never been so confused about a franchise in my life. I don't know if I want it to succeed. I don't know if I want it to just die. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm confused. But anyways, that was what was happening. yesterday, and then you can probably, if you go back in the VOD, see the neurons firing in my head. You see, oh wow, okay, wait, this is content for tomorrow. Oh wow, how you've changed, Karasu Fenor, using the C word so frequently, as if this is all you know now. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Unsubscribed. Sorry, this is just not what I'm here for. Regardless, that's what's happening today. We're gonna watch the Class of 09 anime pilot. I have not watched it beforehand. I thought about if I should watch it beforehand and then react to it now, but I just didn't think that'd be right. I'm not sure how lax the copyright thing is on it. I'm sure there are people who react to it or talk about it. I don't know if they'll take down the VOD. If they do, well, you're here live and you can see it. That's what matters. I don't know if they'll strike me though. I've never been struck before. But I'm probably gonna play the animation in full to react to it. I'm thinking of either pausing it every so often for commentary reasons and to avoid copyright, or to just yap while it's going on. I don't know. What does everyone think? Give me your thoughts. And in the meantime, I'm gonna actually catch up on reading everything because I haven't seen anything going on. Nicole has knee surgery. Okay. Good luck with that. Rest well. That sounds dangerous. Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Hello, 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 hello. Everyone's just greeting each other. Good. I don't have to do it then. I don't have to greet you one by one. You greet each other. You greet each other. Back to 09, let's fucking go, yeah. Oh, coming out of retirement home just to do it one more time, huh? It's like that. Oh, it's like the Key and Peele skit. I don't know. I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. There's a Key and Peele skit where it's like the old master coming out of retirement for one last job, but the skit, the joke in the skit is like the master doesn't. The master is like pretending like he's like, oh, I gotta do it. All right, if I have to. And then the other guy's like, actually, you don't have to, you know, we don't really need you. And then the master kind of goes like, no, but yeah, I'm sure you really do need me. That's me. That's me. The Key and Peele skit where the guy is coming out of retirement to do one last job. That's me coming back to Class of 09. Like I'm pretending like it's a terrible thing and then inside I'm like, no, actually, I do kind of want this. Pause is good. Better to pause. Okay. Pause, can't hear anything when two people talk. Good, me too. I can't hear myself talk when someone else is talking. I just can't. That's why like Parrot's annoying. I've shut him up for today and for recently, because like Parrot is just like I can't hear myself when Parrot is talking, and it's just like unfortunate because I like the concept of Parrot so much, but then in practice I just can't do it. My brain just shuts down. You're gonna get a heart attack if you don't pause, maybe. Yeah, okay, maybe I will. Are you gonna pause every 5 seconds to lecture the characters? I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that because because I don't think I've already said, okay, mainly because I've already said what I needed to say. These characters are kind of static. I don't think they grow and evolve. They're also not responding to what I'm saying either, right? So it's not like they heard me and they're continuing doing their thing. They are fictional in a world that is beyond mine, right? I understand that. I'm aware. I know that this is not real, but like, and so all of the lecturing I've done, I already did. I don't need to do it again. They're not going to hear me. I would just be repeating myself to people who don't hear me, and I'm not going to do that. I might repeat myself for you lot, because you lot are somewhat real, although still less real than I am, just a little less real. Little digital avatars in the chat room or something. Boomer type shit. Don't call me out yet, okay? Don't call me out yet. We haven't even gotten into it. You're very wise, Karis. Thank you. Am I not a person to you? None of you are persons, really. You're all like figments of my imagination. That's how I've kind of. That's how I see it in my head so far. So yeah, okay, that's what's going on. I'm gonna pause it during bits to just offer thoughts. I'm not gonna lecture the characters. I know I'm not gonna do it. They can't hear me, but I'm gonna talk less about the content of what they're doing, because I think that was kind of relevant to the commentary I did on the first game, where I'm just like, this is absurd, Nicole, you need to read some feminism, right? There was like a lot of that. You need to read some actual feminist literature, I thought. And then I don't know if it's obvious, but throughout the series of the games, when I streamed and played them, I became much less like, oh goodness, what are the girls doing, and more, okay, what is the author trying, what's the creator trying to do with this? What's the intention of writing this route this way? And you can kind of see me get really angry about that on the third game. If you haven't watched it, I'm sure you have. I'm sure everyone who's in this stream right now who is excited for Class of '09 has seen me react quite negatively to the third game. And hopefully you agree with me. Hopefully that's the case. Hopefully you do also see how fucked it is, just as I do. And I think today's stream is going to be more from that perspective. It's less, oh no, the girls are wildin', and more like, okay, what is SBN3 cooking? Can I enjoy this still, in spite of the third game that's come out recently? And how do I feel about this project overall, which is still the most confusing franchise / series I've ever encountered. Confusing in the sense that, like, I don't know what to make of it. I either usually like something or I don't like something, and I lean very heavily towards one or the other direction, and my reasoning's usually quite clear, in my head at least. This is the first thing that has in my life that I've ever been like, I really don't know if I like it or not. Thanks to the third game. Thank you, Flipside. Grown-ass man gaslighting me into thinking I'm part of his imagination. You all are. It's what it is. But also, here's the funny thing. I'm also part of your imagination. I'm not real to you, just as you're not real to me. It's an unbridgeable gap. It exists. It's there. Philosophers over centuries have tried to overcome it. There have been different answers. Personally, I find most of them not very satisfying. I find a few that are. Those are my goats. They're the ones who I believe have a good answer to the problem of other minds. But you know, those are those guys. Let's just ignore the flip side. I wish I could. I wish I could ignore the flip side. I wish I could just pretend like it didn't exist. Excuse me, I just burped. I wish I could just pretend like Flipside never happened. It doesn't. It's not real. It's a figment of my imagination. It's not. It exists. It came out. I played through it. I spent 6 begrudging hours going through it sober. I just don't know. Oh yeah, and because of that, I'm a little more prepared today. I have some gin. I have some Christmas gin. If I need that, I can get if I need to. All right, it's around me. If I need Christmas gin, if I need to swallow some gin to swallow through whatever this, you know, abomination turns out to be, I don't know. Then I'm prepared for that too. If it's good, I'll be very happy. I'll be very, very happy if it's redeemably good. We'll see. We'll see. When you walk by other people in the street, do you think they're real? I think they are. I don't know. I treat them as if they're real, but I don't really know. But I treat them as if they were. Those are my goats, said in the nerdiest voice ever. The other thing I hope this stream does not end up being is me just glasses nerd emojiing to every little thing that the characters in 09 say. I hope that's not the case. Ew, please, not the alcohol. It's once again millennials with the booze trying to be funny when in reality they're not. You don't understand. It's not like, it's not part of a comedic skit. It's me coping. It's me having to cope with how dreadfully horrible the third game was. Alcoholism is not the answer. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's my answer. No. Don't do it. Stay sober, friends. Stay sober. It helps you tackle things in the rawest perspective possible, which I think is beneficial to one's self-actualization and growth and development as a human being. But you know, that aside. Also, I'm 60 years old. What else am I gonna do? Anyways, okay. Class of 09. Which I have set up, right? Did I set it up right? Hold on. One moment. Yes, I did. Wait, did I? Let me just check really quick. Okay, I've thought about doing it in the theater room. But then like, cause that way it makes it like really, really small. Which might avoid copyright, but I'm not sure if people just want to see the thing itself. And after having thought about it, I think I'll stream it the way I streamed the game, which is to have it quite front and center, if that's, you know, the way to put it. Skibbity toilet. I can't believe I read that. Can't believe. I'm not reading anyone new. All right, if you're a new chatter, I can't trust you. I'm not reading your chats anymore. I'm not reading. Fucking hell. We'll deal with that later. It's fine. I think the profanities will drive them away. Actually, no. I'm dead wrong. If anything, profanities will. All right, whatever. We never cry. Never had gin. What's it like? Gin is like you are 60 years old and you're sitting in a room full of wood. Like the table is wood, the chair is wood, and it's kind of cold outside. It's breezy. Maybe it's raining. That's how it's like. That's how it is like. Gin. I suggest trying it if you are of age. If you are not of age, I suggest waiting until you are of age and then trying it. It's Gen Alpha. I don't know what gen it is. I don't care what generation it's from. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't care what generation it's from. I don't care. Unfortunate is looking forward to talking in your head some more. It's okay. I will do that. I will do that after the reaction as well. Okay, no more of that. Let's get into the 09. Where is it? There it is. So, before we begin, I just want to say, I haven't actually watched the anime short either. Is that a trailer? Is it something? It's like a preview, maybe. It was a year ago. This was October 23, 2023. Vin Diesel is mentioned. Okay. So this came out October last year. I have yet to watch this either, so I guess I'll do that. I guess I will do that. Auto-generated. No, thank you. I believe the volume should be fine, but if it's not, tell me. Where am I? I'm over here. Okay, let's see. And if it seems like the frame is cut off a bit, that's because it is. It's close enough to, yeah, it's close enough. Okay. No, I'll leave it like this, I think. All right.
Is this what cam girls feel like?
I think cam girls do a little more than we did.
But at least they get paid. We had to flirt with that weirdo for free.
No, we lost a bet. That's not free, it's just hoeing pro bono.
Why would you put up flirting with Jeffrey in the first place?
Oh, so you thought she
Don't put that in your bets.
could steal that hot dog roller?
No, but just that whole class yesterday. Wow, Jeffrey, your Naruto drawings are so good. Ew.
That wasn't even the worst part. People had to watch us do that.
Plus, he probably won't leave me alone for like a month now. He's gonna go home to his video games and make created characters of us.
Yeah, he'll kill us in Grand Theft Auto.
You can make characters in Grand Theft Auto?
Do I look like a bitch who would know?
Whatever.
Can you make?
God, I need a Xanax. Wait, where'd I put it? Bitch, that was my last Xan. How'd you take that?
Quick hands. Titty and Xanax, what a combo.
Goes together like peanut butter and Percocet.
This is true.
Oh yeah, he kept doing that. This is true.
Like he's too good to say yeah, he has to be a scientist about it.
Oh, and what about
Okay.
I hate it when they do that. Like, they gotta sound like the gay comic relief cat in every Disney movie.
This is true.
This is true.
Yes, in fact. Quite the interesting outfit.
I'm just being slandered for 3 minutes in this short. I'm watching the pilot after this. I haven't watched this either. I just thought this was the trailer to it, the preview. I don't know what this is. It is very true. I'm self-conscious about it. Now I can't say things are true because a bunch of teenagers are making fun of me now. I can't.
Stop screaming, we're having sex.
What are you pushing? Sounds like you had a class with Jeffrey.
She's McDonald's. Emily, where'd you get McDonald's?
McDonald's?
Bitch, give me a fry.
Is that how you ask?
Bitch, please give me a fry.
And yeah, we had a class with Jeffrey.
Me too, I could tell. He was drawing pictures of you guys the whole class.
No way.
What were we doing on the pictures?
Like being cute, making kissy faces with hearts around it.
Nicole, we're gonna get murdered. We're gonna get murdered by a guy who can't even tie his fucking shoes.
Well, at least you won't torture us. Can't tie a rope either.
Yeah, but I ripped him up and threw him in the trash. Told that hoe to watch it.
You're the best, Emily.
I know. Okay, I gotta go sell the janitor Adderall. I'll see you guys later.
She's like the hottest bitch ever.
And I love her hair.
What's gayer? Dating a girl or wanting a girl to have sex with your dead body?
What? I was gonna answer the question seriously. What? Never mind, I'm not. Fuck that.
Dating a girl?
Still straight.
What were we talking about? Oh yeah, so what are we doing for marketing?
It's the movie casting thing, right?
Yeah. So I was thinking...
I think the AC exploded again.
That scared me, but yeah. The challenge should be a cast of bald guys who don't look like they say the N-word.
How is that a challenge?
Name one.
Vin Diesel? No, wait. Bruce Willis. Wow, this is challenging.
Damn, that's a lot
Northern Lion. That's one.
of AC units.
Attention students and faculty, we are in emergency lockdown. Please follow.
I unironically, when I said that, I put my finger up. Like the nerd emoji. I didn't know. I didn't even think that. I put my finger up when I said that. I'm in shock and awe and pain.
Follow procedures at this time.
What the fuck was that about?
Is that...
Jeffrey snapped! We gotta get out of here! What are you doing? Let's go!
We flirted with him yesterday. We're the last people he'd kill. Just chill out.
That's easy for you to say. You did my last Xanax!
I thought you were running for it.
Security locked the doors.
Damn, that was a big one.
You won't be in Rush Hour 3.
Did you just look at their anime books? They're not anime books, they're called manga! Who else wants some? Just calm down. Anime girls are better than real women.
What is going on? White Boondocks has never felt fresher. Okay. This was prior to the absolute meltdown that happened this year, but I don't have many thoughts on this other than the fact that, yeah, this seems like an adaptation for what I've already enjoyed in the in-game form, so we'll see. I don't know what a series looks like. I saw one of the comments is like, I need 6 seasons in a movie. I don't understand how you would get 6 seasons in a movie out of something like this. It doesn't seem like something that could go for very long. It struck me as fine. I don't know how people feel about this because I'm watching this not just, you know, as what it is, but I have to compare it to the game because I've played the games now. I know what it's like, and from what I'm seeing, they're animating essentially just the writing in the game. That's what this is. This is nicer. This is a nicer way to enjoy the contents of the game than the games themselves, but it's not doing anything new for now, at least for this little anime snippet. And I suppose maybe that's the point of it. Is this more just an adaptation of the same story in a different medium? In which case I would just, you know, I'd be lying if I was reacting to it in any different way than the original, than the games have, and I've already done that. We'll see. I felt very attacked when they started going on about how you don't have to say this is true. You just say yes. I don't know how to feel about that. I think it's just further confirmation that if Jekka and Nicole were real, they would not like me. If they were real, they wouldn't like me, and I wouldn't like them. I just don't think I'd be able to. I would understand where they're coming from. I'd be sympathetic, but they would hate me. Just mostly driven. Their hatred is probably mostly driven by the misandry they have as in response to, you know, what's going on around them. But the idea is like, no. I've seen people since I first played the game. I've seen delusions where people like do their OCs as like a guy, and then they're like, oh, like Jekka and Nicole, like this is my OC hanging out with Jekka and Nicole. Jekka and Nicole would not hang out with you if you exude at least 1% of maleness. Like that's just not gonna happen, man. I'm sorry. Like it'd be like you could imagine that it like in a different circumstance that maybe that would be the case, but to me those are going to be different characters. They're not going to be the same characters. If they were real, they would hate everyone. They would hate me, that's for sure. Really liked Mr. Cat saying kids get in front of me when Jeffrey started shooting. I didn't even hear what was going on. It was a bit too muffled for me. But if that was like, I heard that, but I didn't know it was Mr. Cat saying that. Oh, I think we like some girls who are as bad as them. Yeah, they would probably hang out with other teenage girls, and they would hate everyone else who was not a teenage girl. And unfortunately, I don't know if it's apparent or obvious, I'm not a teenage girl. Nor do I possess any capability of pretending to be a teenage girl. That's just not going to happen. And so in the meantime, all I can do is sit down and lecture them quietly because they're not going to listen to me anyways. That was the anime short. It's fine. It's funny. I think it's funny. I think it is the same tone and like kind of vibe as the first game. And I enjoyed the first game. We'll see. Damn, I thought you were a teenage girl. It seems a couple of people have been misled and they believe that I am a teenage girl, unfortunately. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I hate to break it to you. I hope I don't lose too much respect, but I'm not a teenage girl. It's unfortunate. Seems like they changed a lot of the characters based on people's responses to them. In this particular short, I don't really see that too much. I feel like their characterization is fairly consistent. I would say that Emily's a bit more friendly towards them, whereas in the first games it feels like kind of at least when you play from the perspective of Nicole, it's like Nicole against the world is what it kind of feels like. And here they seem to be a bit more amicable with each other. Other than that, I don't know. I don't quite feel like too much has changed. As in comparing the short to the games. That's what I'm saying. They hung out with Trevor, Crispin, and Kyler. Throughout the entire like games, it was, at least in my reading of it, made clear that the reason they hang out with any man is because there's something from them to take advantage of. And for and most of the times when there isn't, they just tell them to fuck off and they leave. Either that, and it's either there's something to gain from them like directly, like maybe they just want drugs off of them. They want to get them to do something for them, or they just like the attention, and the moment the attention is not needed anymore, or the attention is not in the way that they want it, they're immediately like, fuck off, kill yourself, right? This is what they say. Okay, it's not me saying it, that's them saying it. That's them saying it. Okay, that's not what I said, that's what they say. Please watch the pilot, it's kind of good, like, more than expected. I am going to watch it now, yes. That's what the stream title is. That's what we're going to do. The following content may contain suicide or self-harm topics. Viewer discretion is advised. Does this show up in my VOD of my playthrough of 09? Because that's what's going on all the time. They just every other thing is extremely edgy and self-harm positive. I understand and wish to proceed. Well, I suppose I do. Viewer discretion is advised. Let's learn more. No one ever clicks this, so let's click it. The safety of our creators, viewers, and partners is our highest priority. We look to each of you to help us protect this unique and vibrant community. It's important you understand our community guidelines, the roles they play, and our shared responsibility to keep YouTube safe. Take the time to carefully read the policy below. Okay. Okay, and then there's just a list of, okay. I just don't, okay. Don't read it. I know, I'm not reading it. I know what it is. I've already read it. I just wanted to know. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not stalling. I do want to say before we begin though, that suicide and self-harm topics are edgy, take the form of edgy jokes in this franchise, which at first is extremely vulgar and like does kind of turn me away from it a little bit, but having gone through the entire game, I see the purpose of it, and I think it is overall, I would say, an interesting thing. Is it a good thing? I don't know, and I can't argue. I'm not ready to argue that Class of 09 is good, in the sense that, you know, there is some moral truths that it helps you sort of unveil as it shows you a sort of grim reality of what it's like to be a teenager in 2009. I don't know. I can't argue for that. What I can say, however, is it's interesting and it's worth thinking about. It's not just low tier god speech played 10 minutes in a row. Like it does deal with these topics, I think, somewhat interestingly. Are you gonna call the hotline too? No, I'm not. And you have a stream where you just read the Google terms of service from start to finish. Maybe I'll do that for April Fools. God. All right. Let's begin. Discretion is advised. I hope everyone's discretion is advised.
I just hope it doesn't dip my GPA.
Karen?
Me too.
It's only down to AB honor roll. I wouldn't worry.
Megan?
A again.
Nicole!
What?
You got an F.
Are you assuming my cup size?
You failed the test. Can't you take anything in this class seriously?
Dude, you're like the white guy in every Martin Lawrence movie. Can I wash your car?
No.
Can I wash your dad's car?
No one wants you to wash their fucking car.
No, but I need money. How do I get money?
Since when do you want to buy a collectible? Collectibles are for men who have wallet chains.
You think Emily would have anything guys like that want?
I mean, she's a girl with a pulse, right?
No, she's got a belt, but not like any belt. It's Avril Lavigne's fuck belt.
Like a strap-on?
No, like the buckle just says fuck.
Hold on 1 second. What the hell is that? What is her fuck belt? What does that mean? That doesn't make any sense to me. Oh, why would you want that? No, you don't want that. You don't want that.
Fuck on it.
That's pretty cool. An Avril Lavigne on it? How'd Emily get it?
I don't know.
I was Googling the belt. I see the belt. I don't know why Nicole wants it.
Oh, she like met her at a party or something?
That bitch lies about everything.
Since when?
She said she hooked up with Kurt Cobain even though he killed himself when she was like 3.
Or what if Kurt Cobain was a really bad guy?
Let's just ask her. I gotta buy some pills anyway.
Yeah, she's got a picture of it on her phone.
Come on, vote out already!
How much did you put in?
Nothing. I'm just seeing if I can get a free one.
But Emily, show her the belt.
Oh, yeah, I got you. Check it out.
Damn, it is real.
Told you.
Oh,
Still $1,000, right?
Yeah, don't worry. A guy also sent me one of Kelly's titty pics.
Oh, shit.
Her nipples are fucked up.
before I forget,
Okay.
you got any
I shouldn't
Xanax
be
I could
seeing
buy?
that. Put that
I
away,
might
please.
have some.
That's all Xanax, right?
No, I got everything
look
in here.
different. They're
Adderall,
Smarties.
morphine, Ambien.
But how do you know which one's which?
You just eyeball it. I mostly sell to retail managers that hit on me. They don't have a problem with it.
Damn, too anxious to risk it for the anti-anxiety.
That's okay. I could fill the void with something else.
See behind McEvil Ways, McDonald's owns Chipotle. See behind McEvil Ways, McDonald's owns Chipotle.
God, that line took forever.
Would Megan do that? Yes, I think.
Do you know who really owns this place? How does it feel supporting McDonald's?
Was I not supposed to do that?
Read the news. This cute little Mexican grill is puppeteered by McDonald's corporate. Enjoy your cilantro dip to make nuggets.
Oh, man.
Do you know who really owns this place?
Fuck off!
Burrito?
Yeah, burrito.
Black or brown beans?
Brown beans.
What kind of meat?
Extra chicken.
Extra chicken?
Yeah, axila chicken. I didn't know you spoke Spanish.
Is this like the first? Is this like the first character with the? This is the first non-extremely white character we've had, and this is the interaction we get with. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Why do people like this place so much?
Because it's literally amazing. God, I'm starving. I'm full.
You only took like 3 bites.
So?
You're not even at the part where it's a fistful of lettuce crammed to one side.
I'll just save it for later. Come on, let's go to the mall.
Whatever.
Hey man, I can't help she was 50.
Fuck. Oh no. Why does he work there? What does he do? Is he fired? Has he been fired in this timeline? If so, shouldn't he be in jail? All right, well, we don't know. I don't know anymore.
15, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you want to buy this gun?
You really can't come in today?
You think any non-virgins shop here?
I don't know. Does sex count if they're ugly?
I'll call you back. Where's the Al-Qaeda shirts?
Hey guys, need help with anything?
Like mentally?
Oh, sorry, you can't eat that in here.
What's gonna happen?
I don't know, store policy.
Well, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this?
Just finish it at Chipotle.
You expect me to finish all this in one sitting? I'm not some fat country-bred bitch with built-in water wings.
Okay, I didn't say all that.
I told you they wouldn't let you bring it in.
What are you doing?
What's it look like?
You can't smoke in here either.
What kind of emo plantation is this? Fuck it, let's go.
This is discrimination. Don't think you heard the last
You're fucking up the store by smoking. It's gonna get into the ceiling. You're gonna. All right, whatever.
of me, bitch.
God, why is my manager never here?
Hey, little Miss Creature, nice to meet you. Shall we start a war?
Come on, everybody needs Percocet.
Well, I do manage a Walden Books.
Exactly. You're not fucking anytime soon.
Okay, deal. But only because you're really pretty.
Okay. It's stay strong. We're fine.
Yeah, I know. So $20 then?
Do you have any Japanese Pokemon cards?
Kid, I'm kind of in the middle of something.
So, no Japanese Pokemon cards?
You want your V card in Japanese too?
I hope I find my dog.
Jesus Christ, I'm looking at Craigslist gigs just to buy a belt. Would the Craigslist killer still kill me if he was gay? I hope he's gay.
Oh, my dog's dead. Cool.
What?
What did he just say? Oh, my dog's dead. Cool. And that was the scene? That was the transition?
I need you to come in tomorrow. I'm just kind of fucked up.
But tomorrow's my day off. Oh.
Oh.
Fuck.
Ari, are you still up?
No, just dreaming.
Oh, you can't. I think that's what warranted the warning. The "you're not alone" warning. That's probably what did it. Yeah. If I had to guess, it was that. All right.
gum rental business.
Why would you rent gum? How do you return that?
Exactly. So you end up charging them more than if they bought their own gum.
Might need some work.
Yeah, I need some work. How the hell do you make $1,000 without committing a felony?
Why does every art store smell like a hospital with crayons?
Oh yeah, wait, what if I drew caricatures for people?
Bitch, you can't even draw.
I could learn. Drawing's only hard if you're some fucking loser who works at a place like this. Bring that up for me.
She has Tourette's.
Working Saturday. How could this get worse?
Burrito won't drop it! Fuck Hot Topic! Burrito won't drop it! Fuck Hot Topic!
Are you serious?
Should have thought twice before denying us human rights.
Human rights? Because you can't eat Chipotle in here?
That's just like $7, and you expect me to throw it out?
That's less than the poster you made to complain about it.
Were these really imported all the way from Italy? Bitch, hell yeah, in the flavor of child labor.
What? No.
Oh damn, you broke it, you bought it.
Hold on. Were these just made with the dough balls where Chuchis gives kids to play with?
No.
Hey, that's where our dough went.
Fuck.
So many like-minded people who shop here.
I walk around my house, that's exercise.
SpongeBob and Patrick. Isn't he like 15? I don't remember how old Jeffrey is. I think that's the point. Never mind.
Sorry there's so much.
No, it's okay.
This is taking forever.
Okay, that'll be $483.57.
483? Oh, I left my pants in my other wallet. Sorry.
Next. Huh? My manager's gonna kill me.
Okay, did I do good?
You did awesome. Here's your reward.
Oh. And this is definitely you?
You're making it worse. You're making it worse. You are doing that. Jekka, you're doing it. You are making it. You didn't start the snowball that is Jeffrey slowly descending into what he becomes. But you're definitely not helping it. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Not a lot of drugs to do in rehab.
What if I sold crushed up aspirin and called it cocaine?
Wouldn't smell the same.
If I told on Coach Colby, how much would the settlement be?
Bitch, get a fucking job!
Like protesting's a job.
Well, you haven't heard what I have planned for next week.
Lay it on me.
Let's just say Hot Topic's gonna be in a sticky situation.
So you got the 1,000?
Yeah, Emily, are you sure the belt's worth 1,000? Like, how many people would actually buy that? How about 500?
I don't think so. Tons of people are hitting me up for this.
Fuck, well, what if I, worked in exchange for it?
By doing what?
I could try pills for you to see if anyone sells you bad shit.
What do you think my customers are for?
Damn it.
Okay, chill out. I might have a guy who could pay you for something.
I am not sucking dick.
No, it's for his business.
I'm listening.
Do they have 7-tuple XL? Man, you are one hot.
Someone get Ari out of there. Someone get Ari out of, someone get Ari out of every situation she's presented in Class 1I, please. Someone get her out of here.
16-year-old.
What?
Sorry, 17?
Sir, what are you doing here?
I'm here for the Miners Welcome speed dating event.
The what?
Boycott Hot Topic. They do this weekly.
I'm never shopping here again.
And just wait for my big finish tomorrow. 200 syrup balloons. No one will ever shop here again.
I gotta come in again tomorrow?
Yeah, that bitch keeps screwing the store up. What else you got going on?
Shaving?
Fuck.
Hey, you made sure that Percocet you sold me was good, right?
What do you mean, good?
Was that actually what it was?
Yeah, I tested myself.
Oh, okay. So is a side effect of that taking a meat mallet and beating the shit out of your daughter for watching Glee?
No. No, it's not. Fuck.
I don't have a daughter. I wouldn't know.
Today, they're gonna think twice about eater discrimination. Sweet dreams. Wait. My syrup balloons!
Miss, we need to escort you from the premises.
What the fuck? How'd you know they were there?
Wow, my manager actually helped for once.
Nicole, what are you...
Sorry, Emmeline, you're a manager.
Let's go.
I should have never told you that! Size me up for a belt!
She'll get over it. So, you can still go to Spencer's.
You got me molested by a mall cop. I'm not talking to you.
Oh, I'm sure it wasn't that bad. Is this gonna be like the last 30 minutes of a rom-com where I have to actually do something to fix this? I'll let you wear it every other weekend.
That's a start.
There you are! I got a bone to pick with you!
Now's not a good time.
That naked photo you gave me wasn't even of you! I demand restitution!
Are you demanding my body?
Did the nipples throw it off?
So it is true! If you don't make good, I'm gonna tell the police you...
Thank you.
Okay, we're even.
You want to go to Bertucci's and Tip Shitty?
Yeah, sounds fun.
I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna lose a war. Never gonna turn around. I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna lose a war. Never gonna turn around. This time, no need for missiles to start a war. No one's loved like this before. No need for missiles. I'm sure this love is enough.
It's Sony. My VOD is nuked. My VOD is nuked. It's over for me. God, I played all the songs in full. They were all just loudly blasting. Oh God. Why is he bleeding so much? I mean, there is a lot of blood in the human body, but he's bleeding a lot very quickly. That's what's like mildly concerning. Oh. Okay. Must be an honor for some of the voice actors to get to put a predator on their IMDb. Do I have any wisdom for the youth? Okay. I think all of my wisdom has been dispensed in the first two games. And this is actually one of the... In talking about this, I inevitably have to talk about the sort of... Or I guess dive into the meta commentary before I dive into the commentary, right? The commentary would be like me discussing the things that happen in this, you know, little anime pilot. And the meta commentary is like how I feel about commentary around this content. I just don't... I thought this was fine. I think if I were to summarize how I feel about the anime pilot, this is mostly, this is all bark and no bite, if that makes any sense. A lot of the like, it's funny. I think the jokes here were funny. I was genuinely like, it is super edgy, but I did think the bit where she starts cutting herself just rapidly in response to something is hilarious. The comedic timing is really good. Whether or not it's a joke made in good taste, I don't want to say. I don't think any of the jokes in this entire franchise are made in very good taste, right? If I'm going to be honest, like, or like at least in something I'm willing to defend. But it does get to a purpose I think is like worth examining. The problem, I suppose, then with this pilot is that it doesn't do anything. It doesn't say anything. It we see snippets of certain characters come up from the game, and you're supposed to point your finger and go, oh, I know that character from the game, right? You're supposed to be like, that's the pedophile, that's the other pedophile, oh, that's the sexual abuser. You're supposed to kind of like point your finger and go, oh my goodness, Pog, like those are the people I like. Or you know, I like to hate, right? Is the response you're supposed to give. I just don't think that, however, using this, they did anything with it. The pilot's strength comes in the fact that it's, you know, if it's on TV, I would imagine if it's on TV and people still watch TV, they don't. But if they still did, right? And if it was on TV, you would pay attention to the edgy humor for a bit, and then you would laugh at some of the jokes. But beyond that, it's very surface level. I just don't think there's anything much going on that's interesting to think about. Unlike the first two games, I think the first two games did a very good job in not only having edgy humor and, you know, girls being girls, if there's a way to put it, I guess. But there was a point to a lot of it. What was the point of this, right? The point of this, what happened, like what really happened was they hung out, like Jekka and Nicole hung out a lot and exhibited very strong bestie friendship, which is, I'm sure, only going to put more fuel into the fire of the Jekyll thing. Make of that what you will. I'm sure most people here enjoy that, but you know, it's like the Boondocks pilot. It's rough. I haven't watched the Boondocks pilot either, so I can't say for sure. I think 12 minutes as well, it being a pilot, is very difficult to make something interesting. Like the whole, like Jekka's whole thing in this entire episode is like, I want to get revenge on Ari for telling me to not eat in the store, which is that petty enough for Jekka as a person? Yeah, she's like kind of petty, but I would imagine that she would have better things to do. Nicole goes through trying to find a job, and she ends up being a manager for Ari, which is a twist, which leads to the final twist of, oh, I know what you were scheming. I know what's going on. And so you're busted. And then there's like, you know, and then they make up in the end, in like a whole friendship thing. And then they just, by, you know, coming together in their collective distaste and disgust of Jeffrey. It's not terrible. I don't think it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's not terrible. It's not something I would imagine. It's not something I would get angry about. It's not something to be disappointed in per se. Unlike the third game. Fucking hell. Maybe this stream is just going to be talking about the third game. But it is not... It doesn't have the same charm. The same bite that the first two games had. The first two games, I think, that was what... Like, I think the edgy humor, the girls being teenage girls, like Mean Girls spirit, was what like gave it its aesthetic, but the substance within it, that at least I found was worthwhile, was the commentary, the interesting and insightful commentary it had. Right now it's just the aesthetic, and I think the aesthetic they land. I think it's funny. The voice acting is always on point as usual. The male characters are just as abhorrent, although there's not much time to show that. You just get off-screen cuts like Kyler going, like, just saying shit like, oh, my dog died, damn, or that's cool. And then you have Jeffrey looking at the nudes, perusing the nudes of a minor being sent to him thanks to Nicole, and going like, hey, these aren't the specific minor nudes I asked for, these are different ones. And like, you know, I stress the point of minor, not in the context of them all being teenagers, because they're all teenagers. I think that's just what teenagers do. It's the fact that, like, you know, I am not a teenager. I'm not a teenage girl. I am an adult, and I'm sitting here watching this. It does make me feel a little uncomfortable. It is what it is. The problem, or rather the main thing, is my discomfort is okay if it's meaningful, if it leads to something. And so far in this pilot, it doesn't really lead into anything. It's the same similar jokes structures. I think polished a bit better as well and the comedic timing really works for an anime format. I think maybe it goes a little too fast. It could have gone a little slower, I think, in pacing overall. But that doesn't quite jive with the way the game works. So they definitely did a decent job adapting it. I wouldn't say they did a perfect job, but they did a pretty good job. This would be canceled on TV? Yeah, okay, it would be canceled. I'm saying hypothetically if, you know, TV censorship wasn't that big of a deal. A lot of stuff happens, but nothing happens at the same time. A collage of clips for TikTok. That's a really good point. That's a really good comment. I think that is kind of what I got from it as well. I think that's a good thing to point out. It does feel like a collage of clips for TikTok. The problem, or rather not problem, but the thing with that is like the thing that makes me think further from that, right? Well, if it goes on TikTok and we see these out of context, you know, clips, and it's only gonna bring in more fans of the first two games, but some people speculate that the point of the third game is to drive away those fans. What's going on? This is being written and directed and created by the same person, at least, you know, allegedly according to their credits, and that's all I can trust for now. The same person's behind it, doing it. What do you want? Do you want this army of teenage girls that ship Jekka and Nicole together? If you don't, the third game makes no sense. Sorry, if you do, the third game makes no sense. If you don't, this anime pilot makes no sense. Pick one lane. I just don't understand. I just don't. This, you know what this pilot is? This pilot is just reminding me of my seething hatred for the third game. That's what it is. The tropes like restaurant protesting and syrup pranker 90s-esque, which are actions a teenager in the 09 would have seen in movies. Okay. So yeah, I think that is the aesthetic, and I think they land the aesthetic. It doesn't feel 2024, it feels 2009. That is something I completely agree with. Oh, they wanted to do 30 minutes, but the Kickstarter didn't get high enough. I see. Most of the serious commentary they wanted to make was in the first game, maybe the second. Yeah. I'm fans, so I definitely have a bias. I'm a fan too, and that's how I feel as well. Is like, I think most of the bite was in the first game, and some of it, and like a good amount of it as well in the second game. I think the second game wasn't as tight as the first one, if that makes sense. Like, it wasn't as airtight. Like, there were some bits where it's fluffy and you just don't know what's going on, and they're leaning in, they're so far into the edgy jokes that they just, like, it seems like they lost their direction for some routes in the second game, but overall I think it was a good sort of sequel to the first, which the pilot demonstrates the potential to do a little bit, but not nearly enough for me to be like, I'm buying in, this is it, I want 6 seasons of this, right? I don't know. It wasn't as malicious as the Nicole plot for revenge that was explored in Flipside. I just don't like that. I just don't like the Nicole plot in that at all. I have so many problems with that. Hello, Karis, you for North CH. That's me. Hello. I hope everyone here is enjoying this. I am too, to some degree, like this, as in this anime pilot. I think it's fine. I think it's okay. Is the pilot rated R? I don't think so. Let me check. Where is the I don't think it shows, does it? Yeah, I don't think it is. If it is, they force you to log in and watch it, which is something that they should have thought of. This should be rated R. This is definitely a rating that's not good. This is a rating that does not work for whatever is going on here. This is not, like, you definitely need to be you should be an adult to watch this, in the sense that adult supervision and discretion is somewhat advised. I cannot say that my presence here counts as that discretion and supervision. I cannot say that. So that's just not it. it's a nice combo of showing that Jekka and Nicole are not nice people. Both of them are bitches despite being friends. Yeah, they're terrible people, yes. But, you know, like, there was more to it than that in the games that I feel like is missing in the pilot. If that makes sense. Where's the there was a bit I wanted to talk about. Where was it exactly? It's not the chip, it was just yeah, it just never mind. Now that I'm looking through it again, there is one, it feels like, okay. I'm gonna play my BGM. Yeah, I'm gonna play my BGM. I'll do it. You say your name again, don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it. My name is Karis Euphranor. I say Euphranor, though technically I believe the pronunciation is Ephranor, but it doesn't roll off my tongue very naturally. So I say Euphranor, you can go with Euphranor. Karis Euphranor. It feels like they sat down in a room and was like, okay, we need to make the anime now. What's it gonna be? Okay, the overarching plot line is Jekka and Nicole hanging out because, you know, that's pretty much most of the plot lines in the games. Nicole is looking for a job and Jekka is, I don't know what Jekka's gonna do, but it'll come together in the end. And then they're like, okay, and then they came up with the rough arc of what happens. Okay, she tries to look for a job, Jekka protests the store, and then at the end it's revealed that like Nicole rats her out for something, which is in typical teenage girl fashion. And then they kind of make up and like bond over their hatred of a man somewhere, right? And the writing room was like, yeah, that works. Okay, now what do we do for the rest of it? Oh, I don't know, just put in all the jokes that we put in the game. That's what they did. They just inserted different jokes throughout different scenes. There's a joke every 5 seconds that is not connected to the next one and the one before. And that's the whole pilot. It's funny because the jokes, to me, right? It's funny because the jokes remind me of jokes I have heard before, which are incredibly comedic to me. Personally, don't mind the third game, considering the teenage girls just kind of come out of school with a lack of actual direction, at least in America. That's not the problem I have with it. That is what happens in the game, and that is not an aspect of the game I have a problem with. I have a problem with many other aspects of the game. That's not one of them. Curtis outright said he put in the Jekyll queer stuff in the first 2 games for money, knowing it go viral, so that's probably what he's still going for. He hits his audience with less money. Then why make the third game? The third game is so disastrously out of touch with anything that makes the first two appealing that, you know, if you're just going for money, you know, I can't say I respect it, but I understand where it's coming from. If that is your goal, what the fuck are you doing for the third game? Makes no goddamn sense to me. Would have been better if it had more Karen. I do kind of like Karen's character, yeah. So in the pilot, Karen acts as the inspiration for Jekka to go like, oh yeah, I can just go protest a store or something, right? It's like the whole thing. And it's, you know, it's girls doing stupid shit, which is entertaining and it's funny to watch, but, you know, not much beyond that. Jokes wise, I think SPM3 doesn't have a lot of new ideas now to move them into the plot. Some of them just feel forced in and out of context. In this, yeah, completely agree with you on this pilot. These just seem like a reprisal of some of the classics, but then the classics exist in a context and in an arc that, and in an environment that makes sense for them, whereas these just feel very inserted. Like they plucked them out of the game and then put them here and thought, yeah, it'll work. Off of the aesthetics alone. And unfortunately, I don't think the mere aesthetics alone is able to carry this. It's just not to me at least. The pilot isn't just going to show them getting bad ends or punishment like in the VN. Yeah, so I didn't expect it to have a whole arc like in the times you spent in the VN did, you would. But I expected like something biting. Like something I expected some type of commentary, I suppose, is what I intend to say. Like that is the, to me, that is the core, the meat of Class of 09, is that not only is it funny and it's edgy, there's actually something it's trying to say, and that thing is quite important to that thing can only be expressed in this vulgar manner. And to me, that was perfectly fine and made perfect sense in the first 2 games. Here in the pilot, it's like, I know it's just 12 minutes, so you can't get through too much. You could have, but there could have been some things said. Like, it could have been, you could have leaned more towards Jekka's whole motivation for protesting being purely just delusional and self-driven. It could have leaned more into that instead of just the wacky hijinks part of it, more the psychology of it, I think. Someone already made a video hating on it. Yeah, well, I mean, that's content, right? Like, you have to put a video out now saying either it's good or bad, and you dissect everything and you shit on it, right? I get that. That's the content cycle. I'm not really into that. That's not really my thing. But I did want to watch it and talk about it. Would have been better if there was more Kyler. He's the funniest. I don't know if that was the problem. They could have had more Kyler. They could have had no Kyler. And it could have gone better or worse. I don't think it was really a factor for me. Don't forget, we had the first quote-unquote ethnic character. The joke is racism, but still Latino win. The joke is racism. And that is a joke in the 09 franchise. It's not particularly out of pocket if you're familiar with what goes on in here. So I'm not, that's not my claim at all. It's hard to say because it's exactly right. It's like a whole lot of nothing happened. It was a whole lot of quick quips and jokes that are reminiscent of older jokes I've heard. As a Latina, the joke was unfunny because the accent wasn't accurate enough. Yeah, the joke, I agree. They should have done a better job doing the accent for it to be funny. They leaned too far into the white person not understanding the, okay, let me play it. Let me play this sequence again.
Burrito?
Yeah, burrito.
Black or brown beans?
Brown beans?
What kind of meat?
Extra chicken.
Extra chicken?
Yeah, extila chicken.
I didn't know you spoke Spanish.
So the joke doesn't work for me because I don't know what to laugh at exactly. Am I supposed to laugh at the fact that the voice actor does a bad impression of like a Latino accent? Like, am I supposed to laugh at the fact that Nicole then does a worse impression of that accent? Because the joke, I think, it only works if either the Latino voice the voice actor for the Latino character in question actually does a good Hispanic accent. I don't know if those are the exact words. I don't speak Spanish. Yo hablo un poco español, right? Okay. I don't speak Spanish very well, but from what I can tell, the accent's off, which is not a problem in itself. The joke either has to be that the voice actor is doing a bad job, or Nicole is making fun of her and that's racist and it's funny because it's racist. It's edgy, right? I want to laugh at the slightly less boring joke, which is that like the actor's doing a bad job, but it doesn't really work because it's not communicated. There's no like meta barrier. Sorry, there's no meta dimension to laugh at. Like it's not clear to me that, oh, the voice actors are in on the joke more than they are just living the characters and doing the joke. The way to fix this, to me, right, would be either to have someone do a good accent and impression, just deliver those lines, and then Nicole make fun of her in that sense, or hear me out, right, have someone who is just have the character not be a Latino at all. Have the character just be white, and then do a bad impression of like the accent. That way the joke sells, because the joke is then, oh, everyone's racist, and the person working here is like, you know, keeping up this fake brand image or whatever, and it's extremely insensitive. Like, that would be the joke. To me, it didn't land because I think that was either direction, right? Either make the character actually do a good job in the impression of the accent, which I think leads to a somewhat subpar joke, or have this character be like white and do a bad impression. It's perfect, and make the impression worse. Obviously, make it worse, make it more vulgar, etc., etc. Make it more stereotypical and racist. You know, that I think would deliver the joke better. And all throughout the entire series, or sorry, the entire pilot, I was just thinking, okay, I think I get the point of the joke, but I don't think it was written the best way it could have been. Which was distracting, because I'm trying to watch it and enjoy it as a fan, right? And I just can't, because there's some things that are like that. What is this? Someone's saying something. Have the Latina cursor out in Spanish, and Jekka thinks she's complimenting her. Old joke, but still funnier than whatever that is. Yeah, that's an old joke. That's like a tried and true, played and tired joke that is a joke. It's not too funny because, you know, we have already all heard that joke from somewhere else before, but it would still be at least structured better than what ended up happening here. Because the first joke of the intro was funny, but most people wouldn't get it. Let's see. Which one? I don't remember exactly what you're referring to.
I just hope it doesn't dip my GPA.
Karen?
Huh? It's only down to AB honor roll. I wouldn't worry.
Megan?
A again.
Nicole!
What?
You got an F.
Are you assuming my cup size?
You failed the
Is that the
test. Can't you take anything in this class seriously?
Dude, you're like the white guy in every Martin Lawrence movie.
That's the joke. Yeah. It's like, again, funny isolated jokes sometimes, not so funny isolated jokes, and other times nothing coherently like tying it all together for me, which is unfortunate because that's the type of thing I look for. I imagine that I don't have a very popular opinion because I am the type of person that looks a bit too deeply into the things I do. I imagine that much of the fandom, if I had to guess, I don't know, right, what the reception of this is. I imagine that a good portion of the fandom will be satisfied with this pilot, because they don't really care too much for the substance of it specifically, and they're just here for the edgy jokes, which is, you know, completely up to you. That's fine. I just think you can have a deeper appreciation for it. But if you don't, then that's, you know, you're just enjoying it for the edgy humor. It's there, and it's kind of funny. It is. It's kind of funny, like here, at least. I imagine other people are also content with this because this is not horrendously awful like the third game. So there is potential for it to be good again, you know, for what it's worth. Like the first two, there is potential for there to be further exploration into related themes of, you know, everything that goes on in the first two games. I imagine a vocal minority of people will hate it because they will nitpick things like I was doing just now and say, therefore it's terrible and you shouldn't like it, riding off of some of the momentum from hating the third game. And believe me, I love hating the third game, and as much as I do, these are different things to, like, I will examine them on a different, like, in separation before I bring them together. That's what I'm doing now. And finally, I just don't think many people will love it. I don't think anyone will love this pilot. I think most people who are watching this pilot feel either generally okay, generally whatever, or they hate it. I don't think anyone's really gonna love this pilot, which is like beyond just the fact that beyond just the concept that, oh, we might get more Class of 09. And I understand the want for more Class of 09. Believe me, I do. But I'm okay with it just disappearing. I'm okay with it just being buried, you know? I'm okay with that too. Next thing Chairman is reading is about the philosophy of comedy. It's a weird topic. I've tried to get into reading things about philosophy of comedy, but it's like everywhere, and like there's a lot of words being used, like different words to some scholars like to say are the same thing, and some people like to make distinctions that are quite meaningless. Personally, I think comedy is best practiced rather than thought. That's my take. Have Jacob be obnoxious and speak horrible Spanish to a white cashier because they're in a Mexican place. Something like that. That would be a different, that would be a different joke, I think. But like, you know, that would still be. Meanwhile, in South Park, they use bad accents and voice impressions to look how long the series went on. So bad shows can air for a while and be appreciated, which is why I think, like, even if I were to walk away, and I'm not saying that, if I were to walk away from this pilot and think this was mid, you know, if that's not what I'm saying, but if I were to think that, it wouldn't matter, because people, like, it wouldn't be it wouldn't be that much of a deciding factor. One, because it's just me, nobody cares about my opinion. Who cares about my opinion, right? But also because it has enough aesthetic in it that people who enjoy the aesthetic will want to see more, and they're the ones who are, their clicks matter than my click. My click is one click, the click of the masses is many. It is what it is. I think this could have 6 seasons and a movie, you know, it could. And it might be good, it might be mediocre, it might be bad. I don't think anything is guaranteed based on this pilot alone, at least. I don't have any expectations set. But I can imagine it doing well. It all just depends on how much people like the edgy aesthetic of it, and whether or not SPN3 decides to lean on it and all that, and how gay does he want the characters like Nicole and Jekka to be, or if they want to just queer bait it for the rest of this, you know, for the rest of its existence, which, you know, might happen. I think it might happen. It could. I wouldn't put it as like on my bingo card, but I think it could happen. Every single SoCal white character in 09 has been an off-screen caricature, so disappointed but not surprised. The caricatures are fine, yeah, if you do something with them, but I feel like here in this case it's like they didn't do anything with the caricatures, which is like, well, the caricatures are kind of funny to look at, but beyond that, there's not much. Don't explain comedy again. You start talking about injured Leon Kennedy and gay orange juice. That is a completely different thing for a completely different stream. And anyone who doesn't understand that, you don't have to understand it. Don't worry. I like it. As a fan, it gets the job done. Even I know it could be better, but this is going on to getting more episodes is going to be a problem because they have to get money. Yeah. So I think one of the things. So as a fan, I think want this to succeed in some way because I enjoy it fundamentally. I do. The pilot is just not strong enough. I'm critiquing it as a fan in the sense that I want it to be better. I don't want it to be worse. I wish it was better. The pilot is just not very strong for me. I have a question. What is your favorite show? Mob Psycho 100. It's my favorite. My favorite thing is Mob Psycho 100. It's an anime. I'm a VTuber. It makes sense, I guess, that like a VTuber would be into anime. That was my favorite. Despite the joke, the pilot feels way less mean-spirited, so that the comedy horror meltdown SPN3 had post-flip side made no sense. Yeah. The pilot doesn't seem very mean-spirited. It feels very like just in line with what's going on everywhere. I'm a little worried that Ari just kind of becomes the punching bag of the series, because you know, it's not that interesting if that's all she is she's just the punching bag. I hope that's not the case if the series continues. I hope the series continues, and I hope it does the things that the first and second can do, if not more. That's my hope. Whether or not I think that can happen, I'm a little skeptical, but I've not lost faith entirely. I lost all my faith when I played the third game. When I played the third game, I was like, all right, we're never getting anything good from this again, are we? Falling into obscurity is probably the good end for the franchise. It might be. If it continues like this, I would hate it. Lacks plot and feels random. Something I put as background noise, but not as a series I would watch and think about. Completely agreed, yeah. So if this continues, it has to do a lot better. The only reason I want it to continue isn't because of the pilot impressing me. It's because I know Class of 09, I've played it, and I enjoyed 09, and I just want to see more 09 and 09 re-up. It's not because I watched this pilot and I was like, wow, they should really make more episodes. No, that's not what I'm thinking. I'm watching this pilot and going, they should have cooked this pilot for another year or something. I would have been patient, I would have waited, but no, you have to release it right after the game to generate hype. I understand the marketing aspect of it. I don't understand what the fuck the reason is to make the third game like it is, but that's besides the point. Came back from dinner. Did I miss any particularly enlightening sentiment? No, you didn't. There's nothing particularly enlightening for me to shed because there's nothing relevant to any wisdom or enlightenment that has come out of this pilot that I can really discuss or talk about. Overslept and missed the reaction. It's okay. This VOD's still there. If you want my reaction to it in a nutshell, I think it's okay. I think it's all right. The bar is very high for me personally. I don't know what the fan base thinks or how the fan base views this game. I really, really like this franchise, or at least the first two games. I have to keep stressing that because the third game is so bad, but the first two games, I really did enjoy it. And and not only did I enjoy them, they're so good and so unique to me. Like, it was just something I'd never seen before, that it has put the bar very high. It is a very difficult bar to reach, this anime pilot, and it does not reach this bar. But, you know, it is a high bar. I'm not gonna hold it against it and say it's trash and it's garbage. That's not true. It's not complete trash. There are things about it that are redeemable. The aesthetic is fine. The aesthetic works perfectly. I think the animation gets a little rough in certain points, but it's not a big deal, and especially because it's not the focus of it. The voice acting is just top notch as usual. There's nothing to complain about in the voice acting, really. And you know, the 90s vibe and the humor, like, it all kind of, sorry, not 90s, like the 09 kind of like era works. Like, it's fine. It might make you nostalgic if you are from that time. I'm not. I'm 60 years old, so I'm not from that time. But if you were, I would imagine it would make you feel a little nostalgic. Yeah, but does it live up to the monumental expectations set the first two games set for me? No, it doesn't. But very few things do. So this isn't me posting a hater video and going like, this is awful, this is the worst thing ever, burn his house down. You know, that's not what I'm saying. I might say that for the third game, but not for the pilot. Why make Ari the punching bag when Jeffrey and Kyler are right there? Yes, true. Also, though, slight counterpoint to your point. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying, like, Jeffrey and Kyler are not real people. They are caricatures of men, caricatures of awful men that exist, that unfortunately are in high quantity and supply, right? They are not real. There's not much dimension to these characters. And so when they're to me, it's when I say Ari is the punching bag, I mean Ari is the only like real character that's not just a terrible caricature of human beings that are unfortunately in great supply, right? She's the only real character that where every moment of her existence in what we've seen so far is just her suffering the consequences of someone else's actions, and, you know, being depressed and self-harming. right? Which to me is just not very appealing. I don't want to watch Ari just cut herself. Like that one scene was kind of funny. The one scene where she like the tonal shift. Okay, that is, I think it's a very edgy joke, but I think it's probably the one good joke in the pilot, actually. I will have to say. Where is it? Is it here?
What?
Yeah, we need you to come in tomorrow. I'm just kind of fucked up.
But tomorrow's my day off. Oh. Fuck.
That is funny. That is a funny joke. It's a very edgy joke. It's a joke about self-harm. It depicts self-harm too. It's quite graphic. If you're not, you know, one prone to this edgy humor, you might find it insensitive and a little distasteful. I think that's completely fair as a reading of it. But this is probably the only joke in the entire 12 minutes that I did laugh at. I did laugh internally, at least. I tried not to because I was like, fuck, I don't know. This was kind of uncomfortable, but that's the best. That's when it hits. That's to me the best part about the comedy that can be done in something like 09, where it's so obscene and so vulgar and almost gross and gross, but you can't help but laugh at it because of the way the jokes are delivered. The timing in this is perfect. The way the joke, the setup, the execution. It's a very it's a very small package of a joke. It's a great joke. It's the only, or maybe it's not a great joke. It's the only joke I think that was pretty good in the whole 12 minutes. Everything else is just a worse recycled version of a joke I'd already heard before from the game. Mr. Ufano, have you heard of Existential Uppercut? It's a music manga about reincarnated philosophers where Kikugo is the protagonist. Only in passing, but every time I hear about it, it becomes more relevant to be. So I might actually have to read it. I haven't read a manga in quite a while, so I might just do that. I might just read that one. I might just talk about it on the stream. Ari is being the punching bag to piss off queer fans. I don't know. I think it's a little bit of a stretch to say that. I do think that leans into like a bit of conspiratory thinking, like looking into the author and what they're doing in their life. So I can't say for certain. Maybe it is true. Maybe it's true. But just from the pilot, I don't get that impression. Don't know if it's intended to be a full series. There are funny moments, but it's just meant to be a standalone thing. It might. So a pilot. That'd be kind of weird if it was. I don't know what you mean by that. If it's like, because if it's just this standalone 12 minutes, then they wouldn't have named it the pilot. The point of a pilot episode is so that you impress people to want a full series out of it, right? I guess. Love rewatching the first two games all the time because it's so good. True. If you haven't already, can you play the third game on stream? It'd be fun watching you hate play it. I have played it. It's the most viewed VOD on my channel. You can go on my channel now and sort by popular, and the most popular thing by far, it's not close. No one in this channel cares about anything else other than me playing Class of 09. It's people love Class of 09. They love watching me suffer through it. I played it. It's 6 hours and like 45 minutes or something of just pure suffering. I spent like an hour and a half after playing the game just ranting. They call it a pilot, so I assume it's going to be serious. Yeah, same. So by the way, they're called pilot episodes because it's the takeoff point for it to be on air. That's why it's the pilot, right? The pilot takes the series on air, you know, as in like it's airing in television. That's why it's called a pilot episode. That's the etymology of it, I believe, which is, I think, quite interesting. My pitch is somewhere, but I don't think it was the intention of it. Maybe, yeah. So maybe this is just like the promise to the fans. It's like, well, they gave us money. We might as well actually use the money to make it. And so they made this. If that's the case, as a sort of final send-off, hurrah, I'm not very impressed, unfortunately. I really want to be, but I'm not very impressed. Megan protesting and Jekka just telling her to fuck off is funny because it's 100%. Okay, yeah, that's also kind of funny. That was also pretty good. Where was this? Here, right here.
Oh man.
which is like in contrast with I like the setup of it as well. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about, because instead of shitting on it, if there's a good joke that you enjoyed, mention it. We'll go back to it and I'll talk about if I enjoyed it as well. I probably did, and I just, can't think of anything because I'm only thinking of this pilot in the bigger picture. On a micro scale, I do think it's good.
See behind me, give away.
Where is it?
See behind me, give aways. McDonald's owns Chipotle. See behind me, give aways. McDonald's owns Chipotle.
God, that line took forever.
Do you know who really owns this place? How does it feel supporting McDonald's?
Was I not supposed to do that?
Read the news. This cute little Mexican grill is puppeteered by McDonald's corporate. Enjoy your cilantro dip to make nuggets.
Oh, man.
Do you know who really owns this place?
Fuck off!
That's funny. I do think I like this joke. The reason I like this joke is because the setup is with Ari, who is like sensitive and definitely less like abrasive than our two stars, Jekka and Nicole. And she's built up as this contrast where, oh man, I didn't know it was a terrible company, but she kind of just walks away because it's like, what else do you expect her to do, right? Like it does play on the idea that like, how much can the average layman person do to in support of various social causes they believe in? Like, can you really protest everything? Can you really cut out everything that's owned by a megacorp that's perpetuating some sort of human rights violation and abuse somewhere in the world? Like, it's very difficult to cut off all of that, right? So where do you draw the line? How do you deal with that? Is like the substance. That's the meat of it, right? And the joke here contrasts the two ways the average person who is not very, socially active deals with it. Ari going like, oh fuck, that's like terrible. I don't really know if I like, that sucks that like, they're doing these awful things, but then just kind of walking away anyways with the Chipotle because it's like, well, I bought it, I'm gonna eat it, that's my lunch. Megan, shouting, being very, very proactive in it, but then also just not doing much beyond that. Okay, we don't see what Megan's doing. We don't see her characterization throughout the rest of the pilot because this is just what she does, like, and then that's it. So we can't assume anything from her, so I'm not going to, right? I don't know what role she plays in this subversion or in this joke. And then Jekka and Nicole come in and just tell her to fuck off. Like, that is a perfect contrast for that's a perfect foil for how I keep saying Jekole. That's the ship name. I just want to refer to those two, Jekka and Nicole. Like, Nicole and Jekka, right, are completely unapologetically ambivalent to any suffering around the world anywhere else other than themselves. That's the point of their characters. They're toxic. They're terrible. Whenever they scream for the rights of women, they really just mean themselves, right? That's the point of the joke. That's the point of the characters, and it's good. This is one of the few jokes in the entire pilot that I think that lands because of that. I have to explain every joke now because otherwise it'll sound like I'm a hater and I'm just saying, no, I liked some of it, but overall, and then I give like a negative comment. It's like, you're just a hater, you didn't really like it. No, I'm sitting down and I'm deconstructing every joke I liked, okay? Just to prove a point, That's what I do. Ari is undeserving of punishment, so seeing her go through hardship is not funny at all. Yeah, so that's something I mentioned earlier. I don't know if I like seeing Ari being the perpetual punching bag for the entire thing. She just was. Like, she was just the punching bag for the entire experience. I don't know how I feel about that. It's the thing, even good people suffer from others' actions. Not funny to most of it. It's funny to others because it's what happens to them. I like, if we were to depict it as something, if we were to like think of it as a narrative thing, at least in the pilot, Ari's suffering doesn't really mean anything. I think in the first game and in the second, there are some interesting points delved, but I wouldn't say Ari is the most well-written character. There is, I think the most interesting thing with her is probably just the whole lesbian arc that I think was not explored too poorly. I think it was done fine. And then the third gate happens and then it makes you want to just throw all of it out the window. I'm so mad. I'm all the time. It's in my head and I'm angry. Goodness. It's kind of underwhelming. It's not as painful as suicide, but not really funny. Yeah, that's my general sentiment as well. Some of us care about more than 09 and want to see more horror. I'll try, but I don't think there's much more horror in the near future for me because I'm just going to die. We'll see. Sheesh, bro, make the video essay. I am not a video essayist. I don't know. I'm gonna give my thoughts on stream and that's what I'll do. I don't have the time currently to delve into a video essay. I imagine I could. Maybe that's what I'll need to pump my numbers. I just need to start doing video essays. I don't know. But I'm not a fan of making video essays personally. Like, I write enough essays in my life. I don't want to write more essays, you know? The last thing I want to do is write more essays. But I can't help but sit here and, like, you know, tear apart everything that's in here to sort of just see what's going on. I can't help but do it. What happens to Ari in the third game? Yeah. Watch the VOD. Watch my VOD. I'm just selflessly going like, watch my other content. Ooh. No. But like, I would like, you should actually no. Yeah, maybe don't watch the VOD because the game is terrible. Maybe just read about what happens and just read about why it's terrible, why it's executed very poorly. Video essays are a pain, mainly because you stutter and have to do retakes. I see. I get that. Yeah, that would definitely make video essays a hassle to record. I just don't like doing... I don't want to do a video essay because I write enough essays in my life. I don't want to write another essay. The last thing I want to do in my free time is write another essay. Like, no. I want to enjoy life, man. I want to do other things. Megan's character in her route is an entirely different character to the rest of the game. Like, she's a hard ass and takes herself too seriously. But when Nicole makes effort, she backs down. That's true. It's like SBN didn't realize she could be a complex character and just wanted to make her annoying. Yeah. I'm thinking of like in drama when Nicole finally does take the roles seriously or something. Megan does go, no, this is good. You're putting in effort. This is something like this really works. She cares on some level. She's not completely like, she's not putting on like, she's not necessarily virtue signaling. I think she has some tendencies that some people who do virtue signal exhibit, but she's more than just a cardboard cutout, right? She is a character with complexity that I unfortunately don't think is explored very much in the pilot and in the series overall. Not even that she apologizes. Yeah, exactly. Write essays about philosophy at school, so you can go home to write essays about philosophy at home. No, thank you. Fuck that. No. And I've had enough. I'm gonna play video games and talk. That's what I'll do. I like talking and playing video games. And reading. I'll read. Reading is fine. I do a lot of reading too, but like I do not enough, so I don't mind streaming reading more. But I'm not doing video essays. Most of the flip side was everyone dying. Most of the flip side is horrible. Oh god. Okay, let me just... Okay. Here's my mission statement. All right, here's my... You have at least a dozen people in chat waiting on your manifesto. Okay. Here's my statement on flip side that I will restate. I've said my thoughts before on the stream, on that VOD that I did of the game when I first played it, when it first came out, but it was also fresh in my mind and very much immediate. Now that some time has passed, and now that this pilot has come out as well, and I've been able to kind of sit with my thoughts for a little longer, I want to say, largely speaking, my opinion on the third game has not changed very much from when I first played it. Not at all. I think the third game is not only bad, it's not just like it's not just a bad game, it is a game that is intentionally awful in an attempt to self-sabotage. That's how bad it is. I genuinely think there had to have been an attempt to self-sabotage, or like just some brain injury, some accident that affected the cognitive ability of the writer to be able to perform to his level that was in the first two games. Nothing else explains the drop, not just in quality, but in the whole, like, it's like the person who created Flipside is the type of person that the first two games, 09 the original and 09 re-up, would make fun of. Someone said that comment in that stream. It's like if Jeffrey wrote the game. That is how astronomically awful the third game is. And I don't mean that when I say it's awful, I don't mean nothing about it was redeemable. This was all 100% garbage. That's not what I mean. I mean, there are certainly things about it that were just as good as the first two games. Like the voice acting is equally incredible, if not even more impressive. Especially when we give Jekka the chance to shine in the spotlight. Incredible, incredible work. Some of the jokes are funny. There's like a few jokes that are funny. The 7-second joke right at the beginning of the school arc, I think, is kind of funny. And then maybe something else too, but I don't remember. The game is just so god awful in my head. And then everything else redeemable about it, all the biting and interesting commentary that they had, the edgy humor being purposeful and leading to something, all of that thrown out the window. Completely thrown out the window. It's as if someone who played the first two games and had the entire point of the games miss them and like shoot over their head, was tasked to write the third one and was like, okay, here in this scene I'm gonna have Jeffrey is gonna pay Jekka and Nicole money to put their feet in his face. Like, no, what are you doing? Stop! Like you have to understand that, like, I only feel this strongly about the third game because I feel equally as strongly about the first two. I really think the first two are incredible. And it is like that, it's only because the bar was so high that the drop off is so painful, right? You have to understand. The game's writing being rushed may have played a part in its quality. I think I slightly disagree. I think the game's writing being rushed plays a part in its lack of content, because you're paying more money for less content. There was just less things going on in this game than the first two. And you paid, I think, more. I think it was like $15 or something on Steam. I don't remember. I paid the full price. I paid it. I bought the damn game wanting to play it. It being rushed made it so that there wasn't a lot to experience. That's what I think. Everyone who's ever been close to the creator said it was most definitely self-sabotage, and he's had a history of doing this whenever his works get popular, with an audience not like him. There's also a screenshot of him saying he put less work into Flipside because it won't get press coverage anyways, to make of that what you will. I think I've read similar notions of that. I like ever since the third game, like in between me, that VOD. So here's like, so I'm only gonna tell you what like most of the thoughts that are different from the VOD I played for the third game for, and now, you know, what has happened since, what has developed, how has my opinion developed since, right? Largely, it's been influenced by me reading around the game. You know, what's going on with the creator, what is going on with the people who, you know, were responsible for the first two games, talking about how, oh, maybe he had a ghostwriter, some conspiracies, there are some conspiracies for that. Maybe he wasn't, you know, mentally okay in his head for whatever reason, right? I have been sitting with those ideas, explorations, comments, interviews, articles, conspiracies, opinion pieces, rants on forums for probably what, 2 months? It's been what, 2 months since the game came out? How long ago was it? How long ago was the was 09? I don't remember. Anyways, point being, for those few months I've been sitting with it, and largely my thoughts on the game itself has not changed. My thoughts on the game itself is it's horrible work. I drew an analogy. I hope you'll hear me out, right? Anyone who enjoyed the third game, hear me out. There were parts of it that I enjoyed too, and there were parts of it that I really wanted to like but couldn't. Okay, there were things that were good about it, But if I were to draw an analogy, the first game is like I walk into a restaurant. I've heard some people recommend it. I saw some wild, crazy dishes I'd never seen before, like on social media, and I was like, you know what? I'll give it a try. I'm gonna walk into this restaurant. I'll give it a try. I sit down, and it's like they serve me like maybe for like $10 or something, like $15. I don't know, $10. Like they serve me like a 5-course meal, right? They serve me like, okay, maybe not. They serve me like a 3-course. They serve me a 3-course meal. And all the dishes are really, really interesting dishes. Not only are they good, they were also there was also a palette I'd never experienced before, and I was like, goodness, it's incredible what this is. That was the first game. Second game, I walk into the same restaurant months later. The price is about the same, or if not, it's increased a little bit. The price is increased a little bit. Maybe it's like $17, you know, $20. It's not too big of a deal. I still get the same 3-course meal, right? I still get the same 3-course meal, and maybe they changed some things in the recipes as well. So the dishes are quite similar to the first time experience. Makes sense, right? It's the same restaurant. But I'm okay with it too. There are some dishes I like more than last time. There are some dishes I like a little less. But overall, I see that they're experimenting. I see that they're continuing to, you know, serve this equally good cuisine to me, and I go, you know what, sure, there's like a tiny bit of a price hike, but it's more than worth it. You know, the game is really that good. The food is this good. Okay, like it's like a little, there are some things. You mean it got progressively worse? I wouldn't say 2 is worse. I would say 2 is not as good, but I would say it was partly, at least when I was playing it, it felt to me as if it was due to experimentation, and like it felt like he was trying, if that makes sense. It felt like he was still trying, and I think that's what matters the most. The third game is like I walk back into the same restaurant. The price hikes from $15 to $17. The price hike from the first and second time was like what, 15 to 17? That's the example I'm raising, right? I walk into this restaurant. It's $30. It's fucking $30. I go, holy shit, $30. And you know, knowing me, I'm very charitable. I'm very like willing to hear people out. I'm willing to be sympathetic to people who, you know, in different circumstances and contexts. I think, well, you know, the economy's not doing very well. There's inflation, and they can't afford to be as generous, you know, with their pricing, because it's not a very popular restaurant, you know, despite the people who go to it who swear by the restaurant. There's just not enough traffic. Okay, sure. $30 is $30. I'll still pay the $30 for the meal. Okay. I sit down. It's not a 3-course meal anymore. It's just one dish. I go, fucking really? Like I have to pay more for less? All right, fine. Okay, I'll pay more for less because I really want to support this restaurant. I really, really enjoy what they're cooking. I can't get this anywhere else. You know, it's really good. I sit down at this restaurant. They serve me the dish. They serve me one dish for $30. I eat it. I begin to eat it, you know. I put it in my mouth. I go, you know what? It's kind of, you know what it does? It's not better than the last few dishes I had, and there's less of it, but it's still around just as good. Okay, sure, that's fine. You know, and I eat it. And as I'm eating it, as I'm consuming this dish in this restaurant, the chef walks out from the kitchen. You know, he does like a little corner. He turns around. He walks around my corner. He gets up on the table. You can imagine that's like here. I don't know. Maybe I'm sitting in a Chipotle and I'm having my dish. The chef just like walks around the counter and then just stands on the table and takes a shit on my plate. He just takes a massive he takes his pants off. So I'm exposed now. I'm being flashed, right? But that's not even the biggest thing. And then he just starts shitting on my food. He just takes a massive shit on my food, and then, you know, picks his trousers, backs up, and like walks back in the counter. That's the third game. That is Class of 09 the flip side. You cannot convince me that's not what Class of 09 the flip side is. Because I agree with you. I walked in, there was the aroma of a good game cooking. You know, there was some cooking going on. I sit down, it's less than before, it's more pricier than before, but sure, I'm still willing to enjoy the same dish. And as I'm eating it, there's a shit being taken on it. That's the third game. It pisses me off to no end. I can't believe it exists. I can't believe it's real. That's how much I hate the third game. That is how much I hate it. I feel like all the goodwill I kept giving it, that paid off in the first two games, in the first two experiences, when I took a risk and I thought, you know what, it's a new restaurant, I've never had it before, I'm gonna have it. And it turns out to be really good. And I go, wow, this is crazy. I have to tell everyone now. All the goodwill I had previously taken advantage of and thrown at me in return. And I just like, why? Why would you want that? Why did you go out of the kitchen to take a shit on your dish? You made the dish and it was good. It was, you know, the same dish as last time. So I'm not blown away the same way I had it the first time, but it's still pretty good. And you had it going on. What are you doing this for? That's what happened when we got into the feet arc. That's the feet arc. I pirated it and still felt robbed. Yeah. Biggest problem. Hold on. Let me read some comments. Biggest problem I saw was them crying over the foot fetish. To me, is the most least important reason to hate the game. So here's my take on the feet thing. Here's my take on the feet thing. It could have been the feet arc, the feet route, whatever you want to call it. It was not a doomed premise. I think there was a way to write. A foot fetish arc, like a narrative that revolved around creepy men and their foot fetishes, taking advantage of Jekka and Nicole. I think there was a way to write that and be tasteful about it, in the same way that, I forget if it was the first or second game, there was an arc where Nicole has to go through what is, you know, otherwise just softcore prostitution, right, for a while. And I think for the most part of that arc in the first or second games, it was handled well. One of the reasons why I thought it was handled well enough is because all of the abuse happens off screen. The abuse is not something that's on screen happening. You don't have to like sit through like a sex scene between teenage Nicole and like an abusive pedophile adult. You don't have to sit through that. It's implied. It's implied off screen, and you see the trauma and you see the mental scarring and the effects it has on Nicole as a character. You see that, right? And that is the way they wrote that arc. I think that was, if they wanted to write a feet arc for whatever reason, if they wanted to do that, I don't think that would necessarily have been a problem. You just handle it in that way. The feet arc being presented and executed in the way it was is the equivalent of if you took Nicole's like homeless, like, you know, essentially prostitution arc, like, and just put all that shit on screen. Like you just had like a pedophile sex scene on screen. That is what fucks it up. That is why one is good and one is god awful and makes me want to die. I'm being very loud. I must apologize. I'm not usually this loud. I'm not usually this like riled up, but I'm talking about the third game now, and you know that's the territory it's bringing me in. I'm sorry. I must apologize. If you want the same problem, then Danganronpa is doing the same. V3 is the biggest slap to the face for fans, especially the ending. Oh god, no. I have, and just when I was looking to get into Danganronpa as well. Take a smoke break. Thank you for the kind sentiment. I don't smoke, unfortunately, but thank you for the sentiment. I hope everyone watches my VOD instead of buying the game. If you're thinking about buying the game, don't. Just watch my VOD and see how awful it is. Experience the whole thing. Essentially, you'd be pirating it, right? That's good. Do that. And then maybe, you know, make up your mind, think about it. But don't buy the game. It's not worth buying. Drink the gin? Maybe off stream. I think, like, I prepared it. I had some gin prepared. For if this pilot was going to be just as bad as the third game. Thankfully, it's not nearly as bad, so I didn't need to bust it out, but, you know. I'm just drinking water. I'm drinking water. Please, 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 begging you to play Danganronpa. I have the game wishlisted. I might get it if it's on sale. We'll see. We'll see. There's not like there's any choices in the game to make watching a VOD any different. Yeah. The fact that like the fact that there were less choices wasn't the deal breaker to me personally, because I was like, if there are less choices but the routes are more fleshed out in the same way that the second game is. First game had like a lot more branching paths and it felt a bit more like a game. Second game was a bit more linear, but I was okay with that too because there was something, they were cooking something that was linear, so I was like, that's fine, I'll leave that be. It's not a deal breaker to me to have less choices in a visual novel. What is a deal breaker is the writing being god awful, because that's the whole point of a visual novel, is like you're consuming mostly, you know, you're consuming the writing. Honestly, glad I was into Black Butler and not Danganronpa. I don't know what either of these are, so I can't comment on that. Because, you know, the voice acting is still just as phenomenal. Like it's both the acting and the direction, which is credited to the same guy who writes it as well. So I don't know how to feel about that. That's very strange. But the direction is still on point. The jokes still land just as well. It is the petty, like stuck up, like bitchy teenager vibe. Like he gets it perfectly. It's very done. It's very well done. But you know, all the creeps sound like creeps. You know, all the fucking weirdos, all the pedos, all the abusers, they all sound the part as well, which is, you know, builds into the caricature of it. The counselor is like every time I hear the counselor, I physically reel and recoil away in fear. And I think that's owed partly to the fantastic performance done for it. It's really, really good. In the way that's like, yeah, this is just, it's like a different type of unsettling, strange, abusive, like what's the joke in the games? The marathon pedophile? Yeah, like that. And it was in good contrast to the sprinter pedophiles of like the coach. It's all very well done. It's all very good. I really enjoy those things as well, but only insofar as they contribute and build into the writing of the themes and the narratives that are explored in the game. Only insofar as that is the case. Because if that's not the case, you know, why bother? What's the point? Also, the point of the feet routes weren't even about the consequences of being yeah. Nicole's pettiness is like a topic that people discuss as well a lot in the forums. I might as well get that out of the way. Every single controversial 09 thing, throw it at me, I'll give my thoughts. Just throw every single class of 09 controversial statement, right? The one of them is like, oh, was it in character that Nicole was just as petty in the third game? To me, I think like the first, I want to say the first and second game, Nicole is characterized a bit differently. I think whether it be because, you know, in a linear in linear development fashion, right? If like the character is just growing, or if the characters, you know, experienced more things in the sequel, or if it's an alternate timeline Nicole, or if, you know, simply the writing was inconsistent, I generally think the characterization between the first and second Nicole were a little different. I don't think it's a big enough difference for me to see them as completely separate projects, but I do think it's a difference worth pointing out. And so in response to the question, oh, was Nicole consistent, and is she this petty, you know, as the third game portrays her as? I think if you are to go down the route of you would see an increased amount of pettiness between the first and second game. There's a jump there. And if you want to buy into the second game as, you know, canonical characterization, then yeah, I think it is not unbelievable that the Nicole from the second game would become even more deranged and do the shit she did in the third game. You know, I think that would not be too out of the picture. That is believable to me. Personally, I don't know if I like that. I think personally, I think I mostly liked the characterization of Nicole in the first one, but you know, that's just a personal preference. That's not at all the discussion of the character writing consistency. But that's not my problem with the arc. That my problem isn't that, oh, Nicole shouldn't be this petty. No, my problem is what I just ranted about 10 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago. I don't know. I've lost track of time in my anger. Like, that is my problem. It's the whole fucking arc. It's the whole way, the entire thing, the way it's been written and like executed. That's my problem. Not like, oh, I don't know if it's in character for Nicole. No, that is the least of my concerns. That is the least of my criticisms for this game. That does not matter in the grand steaming pile of shit that is in the room. You know, like, I can't, you know what I mean? This is just not worth talking about, to me at least. It's not nearly as much as the absolute dumpster fire that is everything else. She's petty, but she literally got herself in trouble with the counselor so Jekka could smoke and not get harassed without asking him anything in return. For a sociopath, it's a huge olive branch. So I want to... was that from the first or second game? Because I believe it was from the first game. If so, that is my concept of Nicole as a character, because I do think the second game veers a little bit from the characterization that I found more consistent with themes and things done in the first game, largely speaking. In contrast, in the animes, Nicole sells Jekka out again for a damn belt. Yeah, like, I don't know how to make of it too. I think there's a second game. Okay, that's interesting. It's interesting that it's in the second game, because you can think about the, you know, branching timelines. It's not the same one because, you know, it's not linear storytelling that's being done in Class of 09, largely speaking. For example, like Jeffrey does not take like unsolicited nude pictures of Nicole in the gym class in every timeline, so to speak. But the fact that that does happen in one of the routes and one of the choices and one of the branching choices, does that mean he is, you know, because that puts him on a different level of like fucked up creepy, right? Like, because before that I was pretty sympathetic to Jeffrey. I was like, okay, listen, man, like, you got to pull it together. Stop talking about anime. Stop talking about it with people who don't care. Talk about anime with people who do care. Find an interest club, a hobby group, whatever. If you can't, talk about it on forums and keep it there. Talk about things people care about with the people you're talking to, right? That, you know, I'm giving him social advice. I want him to succeed. I don't want him to be just a nerd, you know, like, I don't want him to be bullied around. Like, I want him to flourish socially. And then he like takes pictures of Nicole in the gym, in the locker room, and now I'm like, fuck you, go to jail. Which is not, you know, of course, you know, I am overreacting a little bit when I say that as a person playing through the game and enjoying it. But now this possibility that he could do that is seared in my head, and now I don't know how to make of the character. I don't know how to consistently characterize this Jeffrey, because he does different things in different choice timelines. Same goes for every other character, because this is a non-linear game. And it's also the reason why there's so much debate and like controversy surrounding the people who do enjoy certain characterizations of characters that might lean a bit further away from from other actions they do. Because it's not linear, it's a bit more difficult to keep track of. My opinion is that if you accept the entire second game as completely in character for Nicole, her actions in the third game are not too outlandish that I don't believe it. It's still a little more outlandish than I think, than I would find acceptable canonically, I guess, in my headspace. But it's not completely out of nowhere if you are to accept everything that happens in the second game. I personally think some parts of the second game were not it. Some parts. So therefore, I don't really think. But again, not even that big of a deal. Jessica said, "Are you serious, or do you actually not get how fucked up this is?" And Nicole said, "It cannot be both." I think she wanted to care, but just couldn't bring herself to. She is so she has sociopathic tendencies. What that means is probably widely misunderstood, right? But that is the case. The character displays a stark lack of empathy. She is manipulative and really mainly only works towards her goals. The closest we've ever seen her extend any care to any other human being is Jekka, and that's only because they get along in the sense that Nicole sees herself in Jekka. That's like the reason, right? You know, you see yourself in someone, that person is normal, is as thus now more of a human being to you than anyone else is. The worst part is that it's so far out of left field that it left a bad taste in most people's mouths. If I were any worse of a philosopher VTuber, that I would make no. If I were the creator, if I were SBN3 writing the third game, I would put another feet joke in there. But I'm not, and I'm above that. I'm above the route going every 5 going like not being able to go 5 seconds without another feet pun. I'm above that. That's not me. But if I wasn't, that's where I would do a joke. It wouldn't be a very good joke. It'd be a terrible pun, but it's, you know, that's what's littered the whole route of the game, so. Her sociopathy is a risk factor of being suicidal. Yeah. And we can see her suicide. So there's like actually one good route in the third game, and it's the one where we see, well, for the namesake, right, the flip side of what happens in Nicole's arc of like her that culminates in her killing herself, and we see like the fallout and how Jekka's reaction to it and how she deals with it and all that. That's the one good thing. That is the only good thing that's come out from that game. It's the only thing. It lives up to the namesake. It makes sense as a third in the series that has already expanded, covered a lot of ground. Okay, yeah, why don't you tell the same story but from a different perspective? What new things are revealed from that? Good idea. Let's write from that premise. That was that arc, and that was that one route, and nothing else. Fucking nothing else. Okay, we can get into like debates on what sociopathy is, but I don't think that sheds too much light on Nicole as a character, because her writing is somewhat inconsistent throughout the franchise, and it is a non-linear branching timeline. If we are to like, I think it is controversial. It is up in the air. Okay, whether or not she is capable of such cruelty as she displays in the third game. To not just the capable of that cruelty, but capable of that cruelty to the one person in her life who she sees a little bit of herself in, right? Whether or not that is possible or probable, I think there is room for debate. I'm not too interested in that debate personally. I think I would be if the game was good, but the game is awful, and so I want to bury the hatchet, and I want to forget that it ever existed. That's what I want. Okay, you're starting. Okay, everyone's starting fights in the comments. I don't think it's a fight worth. Personally, I don't think it's a fight worth starting. I just don't think it's that interesting of a discussion, because really then here's where the discussion boils down to. It boils down to what is sociopathy. It boils down to what parts, what characterizations of Nicole, like from her actions in the games, how can we build a psychological profile of her, which is muddied by the fact that muddled, I forget what the word is. I'm so sorry, I should not have forgotten what the word is, which is made more difficult because of the non-linear form of the storytelling that takes place. what is canon and what isn't. Is it all canon? If it's all canon, then you have to accept the third game as canon. Okay, no, maybe the third game is an exception. Okay, then where do you draw the line? It's a lot of that. It's a lot of like, where do you draw the line in the sand? Chairman, do you think Nicole's a sympathetic character? I don't know. I think it's difficult for me to judge because I think it's impossible to make that diagnosis based on the actions of the games. One reason is that the first and second game are largely told entirely from her perspective. And we hear her internal monologue a lot, which may not correspond to some of her actions, you know, as displayed and observed from an external perspective. Some things happen off screen. We don't know what those things are. This isn't a real person. Like, Nicole is not a real character. Sorry, Nicole's not a real person. She's a character in a video game, in a light novel. Sorry, in a visual novel. Excuse me. I'm getting all my words mixed up today. And no less the narrative being split, being, you know, inconsistent. It is the narrative branches are all inconsistent with each other. There are different endings, right? Different things happen based on choices in the game. That's what makes it a video game. To talk of which is canon and which is not is difficult. Do I think Nicole is sympathetic? I don't know, really. I know, what I do know is that she does not display an ounce of sympathy to anyone else in her life except Jekka. Jekka is the only character in this entire franchise that Nicole extends an ounce of sympathy to. That's all I know. What does that mean? I don't know. The writing isn't the best, but the point of this VN is the dark humor. I don't think that's the point of it. I think that is a strong feature of it. I think that's an aesthetic feature of the visual novel. But I don't think the point is to make edgy jokes, or at least that would be the case if only the first two games existed. Because I do think there was a very interesting theme. There are very interesting themes and scenarios and like relationships and like characters to explore in the first two games that use the dark humor to get there, right? It uses mentions of suicide, it uses mentions of self-harm, it uses drug abuse, sexual abuse, pedophilia, a lot of these like very hot, you know, very difficult to discuss on PG YouTube things are used in the first two games, and they're done so comedically. There's a humor to it. There are jokes written using these ideas and topics. But the point isn't just to make those jokes. The point is to use those jokes as a vehicle to explore this a toxic I keep saying it and I keep forgetting the words. Let me say it again. It is an exploration of toxic misandry in response to a bleak patriarchal society. That's in an essence, that's what the games were about, or at least that is my interpretation of the first two games, which has been shaken by the third, but we don't need to get into that again, right? That the point of the games is that, to me. You can disagree, but I feel very strongly about this point. I think it's very difficult to disagree with what I just said. The edgy humor, the jokes are funny, but they are a vehicle for this. It's only acceptable when the dark humor is used as a coping mechanism. And it's only funny when the victim makes the joke. I think I get the sentiment of what you're trying to say, and I have a sort of maybe not semantic disagreement, but more so like maybe clarification is in that like you don't punch down, you punch up. That's the rule of comedy, right? You don't, punching down is generally not very funny. There are instances where if you are making a joke, you're making a meta joke on the punching down, it can be funny, but that's entirely different and a separate discussion from what this is right now. think trying to analyze Nicole's personality disorder too deeply is a little useless because I don't think the creator is that much educated in disorder. Yeah, I think the creator has created a character that is somewhat inconsistent in the writing, just, you know, somewhat. Because it's not an easy character to write for. And for what it was worth, at least for the first 2 games, it was done well enough. In my humble opinion. Again, I don't have disorders of this magnitude and type, so I can't comment on the accuracy of it. I'm sure maybe someone else can. I'm not the psychologist VTuber, I'm the philosopher VTuber, right? Humor is subjective. That's true. Humor is subjective, but you have to know your audience. Humor is subjective in the, but it's not to say that you can't tell a bad joke. A joke is bad when you tell it to an audience that doesn't find it funny. That's what makes a joke bad. So I agree with this. I agree with the premise that humor is subjective. Humor, and to find humor in something is a profoundly subjective experience that's difficult to communicate, without just using the humor again. But, you know, you laugh. When you bomb on stage as a comedian, it's not like, oh, humor is subjective and these people don't understand what I'm talking about. No, you told bad jokes. Your jokes were not funny. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And you go, well, that's not fair, but the audience just doesn't have whatever. Pick your audience then. Perform in front of an audience that understands your sense of humor. Duh. In the same way that you wouldn't lecture in a language that people don't speak. If you're trying to lecture people and, you know, present on something and you're speaking in a language that they don't understand at all, then you're not doing anything. You're just babbling. You're gesturing in the air. Obviously, I'm not saying what you're doing is meaningless and devoid of, you know, substance. No. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if the point is for it to be perceived and consumed, remember that that's the point, right? Probably true, but wouldn't you want to do a little research before you wrote about a personality disorder? Oh yeah. Yeah, you would. So badly wish to explore Jekka being the only one Nicole ever really showed any sympathy to with good writing, like you're ultimately pushing Jekka too far because her habits die hard in Jekka. Yeah. Jekka either cuts her out or goes with it is what I wanted to see when Flipside was announced. And the 2 feet around, and he technically do that, but it's in the worst way. I hate it so much. Yeah, agreed, 100%. I think. Okay, there's an argument going on like the subjectivity of humor. I said that back then. I said it back then, I'll say it again. So sorry, I said it just now and I'll say it again. Jokes are funny or they're not funny. And there's a subjective element to it that depends on the audience. I have not seen the Boondocks in its entirety, so I can't comment on it. But from what I know of it, the Boondocks is good. From what I know of it, but I have not actually watched it. I could be very misinformed and I could not understand. Looks like I really use an ending about Nicole and Jack having a falling out, never hanging out again. Could be really interesting. Yeah, it could have. There's so many things to explore. And that there could have been a very bitter ending where, like, yeah, it just doesn't work out. They have a falling out, and you know, either maybe the twist in the ironic twist of fate could be that maybe they fall out from each other, but then because of that they flourish in their best possible ways. Maybe, I don't know what that would look like. Maybe one of them, maybe Jekka gets a boyfriend. That could be something to explore that I think would be an interesting thing to do in this, like, in the game. There's so much potential for it to be good, if that's what you're saying. 100% agree with that. Yeah, things can be funny. So, okay. So someone in chat is like is asserting that humor is subjective, and things can be funny for the sake of being funny. I agree, but when you say humor is subjective, it doesn't just go one way. It's not just a shield that blocks. Well, I found it funny, so it is funny. What it means to me in its entirety when you say humor is subjective is you have to understand when you tell a joke, you're telling it to an audience, and you're not just telling it to one person in an audience. Remember, when you're, think about it this way: if you're on a stage and you're telling a joke, which I think might be a very difficult thing to conceive of, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. So maybe, okay, let's dial it down a bit. If you're telling a joke in front of your friends, you're not telling it to like in like a gathering, and you're like maybe 4 or 5 people hanging out, and you're telling a joke. You're not telling it to one other person. Otherwise, you'd just be having the conversation with them. You're telling it to the whole group. And if you tell the joke and only one person laughs and everyone else goes, that's not very funny, or maybe that was kind of insensitive, guess what? The joke's not funny. That's what that means. That means the joke is not funny. If you were only hanging out with the one person who was laughing with you, and you were just one-on-one hanging out, and you tell the joke and they laugh and they and they go, that's hilarious, the joke was funny. That's what I mean by subjective. And so, okay, well, if it's subjective, then does that mean that if one person laughs, something's subjective? Something is humorous in itself? It is this objective, it has achieved this status of being objectively humorous? No, it's not just, oh, it takes one person to laugh. No. You have to know your audience. That's why humor is so interesting. And that's why, like, when humor is done well, it's incredible. That's why I find one of the most fascinating things in life is when people are funny, because you're not just funny like objectively and that's it, right? You are funny when you know how to play your audience, and that is an incredible skill. The first 2 games are funny because they played to their audience. They said a lot of edgy, things that shouldn't, the whole game was written by a man, as far as we're concerned. The whole game was written by a man. But the reason why it was funny is because it really resonated with women. And they go, no, it's not just, it's not just a satire on, like, on feminism in itself. It is a nuanced, like, it's filled with jokes, but it is a nuanced take on how, no, this really is how some women perceive feminism, and here's why it's problematic. That's like, and the jokes supplement the message. Like, that's why it's so good as a comedy, and that's why it's so good as commentary. And that's why I love the first 2 games so much. The comedy is only in supplement in this case, and it's only made funny because it is not punching down. Does that make sense? When I say Flipside's not funny, when I say the pilot is okay and funny sometimes, that's what I mean. That's largely what I mean. So when I say Flipside wasn't funny, I mean Flipside had an intended audience, and the intended audience largely found it unfunny. What's the intended audience of Flipside? Well, that's an easier question than what's the intended audience of the original game, because the intended audience of Flipside is presumably and partially people who enjoyed the first 2 games. That's one of the easiest home run and questions to the intention question. Like, you're right, this is a game created for the people who enjoyed the first 2, as well as people who are willing to look into and explore it. Otherwise, why make it a sequel? What's the point? In the Boondocks, the characters being ignorant is the joke because we the audience are mocking them. It wasn't funny because they said slurs. Yeah. So what makes Boondocks funny? From what I've seen, I don't know. Right? So because I have not watched it in its entirety, but from what I've gathered in the short clips I've been shown countless of times, the joke isn't, oh wow, it's the person saying like the N-word. Oh, it's a racial slur being said on TV. That's not what makes it funny. Because if that was what it took to be funny, then all you would do is go around just screaming the N-word. That's just what you would do. And that would be the funniest thing ever. Guess where that takes place in? Call of Duty lobbies full of 13-year-olds. This is the funniest shit to 13-year-old audiences. Yes. When you say that that's funny, that's funny because they said a slur, you're saying that can be true, but you now have to take a step back and look at the audience. Who's in the audience? 13-year-old Call of Duty players. Okay, that's who's in the audience. You take a step back and see the context of you telling that joke. What's the joke? Oh, it's just like a slur. That's the joke. It's funny because it's a slur and you're not supposed to say that. Ha 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 ha, pee pee poo poo, right? Like it is childish. That is childish humor. It is humor on some level because, you know, kids are laughing. Teenagers are laughing. Teenagers find that shit hilarious. That's why they go out and do it. But teenagers are also fucking stupid. Right? And I'm not saying you're stupid. That's not what I'm saying. At least not in this. In general, I like to say everyone in my chat's stupid. That's just the way it is, right? It's relatively speaking. But what I do mean, though, is that when you think about humor as subjectivity, I would implore you to examine what that means in the context of the intersubjective experience of humor, i.e. when you laugh as a crowd or as an audience or as a group of friends, and think about what that means when it's with different people. Before you go about making assertions and claims for what an objective humor should be or is. Because when you do, you fall into pitfalls like that. And it's not an easy thing. This is not an easy thing to swallow. This is not, I guess maybe this is the profundity of today's stream, right? This is maybe the profundity of today's stream is me giving a very basic, very, very, very basic explanation for why the humorous subjective argument is deeper than you think. That's all I'm doing. Feminists are a joke when it comes to Nicole and Jack. Okay. So, I think you might not be understanding the game in its full, which is okay. I don't think the game is easy to understand. And I don't want to, you know, ridicule you in front of an audience, but I do want to clarify, Nicole and Jekka are not feminists. They are opportunists for themselves. They are selfish assholes. They don't care about feminism. They claim they do only insofar as it's in service to themselves. They will watch other girls burn for their sake, right? They're not feminists. That's the whole reason why I played the game and had to immediately go read some feminist literature just to make sure I'm not tripping. I'm like, there's no way, right? But yeah, it's a very clear, at least I thought it was a very clear intention of the game. The game's humor was directed at people who can take the jokes of people from that time. I don't think that's true, because that might be true if the game was written in 2009 and released in 2009. It's not. When did it come out? Let me check. Give me one moment. Class of 09. Now, if we get into a debate for what the intention of the first game is, that's much more interesting to me. Oh, sorry. The teaser we watched earlier in the stream is for the first game. It's a trailer for the first game. It's not a trailer for the anime. It's just a trailer for the first game. I see. This came out 2021. You don't have a time machine, I would imagine. So your intended audience, like it or not, are going to be people who exist in 2021 to play the game, right? And 2021, things are different from 2009, because as a collective society, as a collective whole, I would like to think people are generally a bit more educated and a bit more aware of social issues. I want to hope that's the case. I don't know if that's the case, but I want to hope that's the case. It wasn't directed at teenage girls. It was made to alienate them. It was made for the same late 20s white guys who laugh at Nazi jokes that the creator wants them on with. That's a take I've seen. I haven't made up my mind on it, so I think that could very well be true. But like, it's very difficult to ascertain. That's I think one of the more meaningful questions to ask about this whole saga, right? Is what the hell was the intention of the first game? Who was the intended audience? Who is this for? Who is, like, who is meant to watch this or like play this and enjoy this? I don't know. I really can't tell now. It's so contradictory, the actions taken by the creator, that I just don't know. As someone in the chat can confirm, I'm insanely stupid. Steam reviews can't be taken very seriously. That's a different topic. I think you're here to argue that the backlash is overrated and it's because of woke or something. Okay, no, that's me being very cruel and very uncharitable and very strawmanny. I must apologize. Those are assumptions I'm not going to make if I were to take you seriously. If I'm going to take you seriously, I do believe what you're trying to say is that it's a bit overblown, like the hatred towards this, and you don't quite see what's wrong with it. And all I can say to that is maybe take a closer look at the first 2 games. Maybe watch, you know what? Maybe watch my VOD of it. Maybe watch me play it. Watch my commentary on it. It might help you understand a bit more what's going on through the games. And then form another opinion. You can buy the games and support them if you want, if you feel so inclined to. Personally, I would usher against it, but that's just me. I have my own. I have there is an element of self-interest in this. If you watch my VOD, I get another view. So so like that, there is an element of I'm doing this for myself there too. I'm not gonna like pretend that doesn't exist, but you know, the criticisms, I don't know what the general community consensus is of the third game. I don't know what people are criticizing, and what I'm not interested in is I'm not interested in dealing with the low quality stuff. I'm not interested in dealing with the low quality glazing or the low quality critique. It's just I think it's a bit beneath me. All right, it's a little beneath me. Play myself and watch playthroughs, that's good. But what I mean by that is there are good, interesting arguments to make and think about, and there are poorer ones. I think you might be fighting against the poorer arguments. You might be arguing against an opinion that's not my opinion, but it's an opinion of certain parts of the fan base, which could like who may be incredibly brain dead. That may well be the case, and if it is the case, you know, my suggestion is to just don't waste your time on that. You know, you're better than that. You have time to spend on things. I would say if you want to think about things really seriously, think about good arguments people make. Don't really think about bad arguments people make, and learn to differentiate between them. What made you take an interest in philosophy? In a very quick response, it would be Michael Vsauce Stevens. I remember watching Vsauce videos as a kid, as a teenager. I mean, you know, as a 40-something-year-old. I remember watching Vsauce a while ago, and it was what pushed me into thinking about things a bit more deeply, and then it's escalated and spiraled, and then I watched some anime that made me think about stuff. I remember Wisecrack as well as one of the channels I used to watch as well. And then that just gave me, and then what really pushed me to pursue, that was what pushed my interest in philosophy. What pushed me to pursue philosophy academically was the fact that everyone around me said no. It's the fact that everyone around me was like, this is a terrible idea, Karis Ufenor. Do not be a philosophy major. That is a terrible, you will have no job prospects, nothing. Don't do it, it's bad. And I go, really? You're telling me not to do this thing? Well, I wasn't gonna, but now that you keep insisting that I shouldn't do it, I think I'm gonna do it. And that's what happened to me. And then that's what spiraled me into being a philosophy major in particular. I think Chairman's playthroughs are really valuable because he analyzes stuff closely rather than just doing Let's Play like most people on YouTube who upload gameplay. Would not have considered any of the points brought up if not for watching the streams. Insanely valuable commentary. Thank you. You can, your payment will be delayed because I'm poor, but thank you, paid chatter. Thank you. Thank you, paid chatter, for glazing my commentary. But yeah. Age 40 might as well be a lifetime ago once you hit 60. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Chat, remember to watch Vsauce Minefield. It's on the curriculum for the classes. True, it's free. There's no excuse. It's free. It used to be a paid subscription thing where you had to have YouTube Red when they called it that back then, before they called it just premium. But now it's all free. Do yourself a favor, watch them. It's incredible. It's like one of the few things on YouTube worth watching, really. The Minefield series by Vsauce. It's incredible. It's incredible. But yeah, I will resonate with the sentiment. I don't want to, you know, just have an argument with you and be uncharitable. I don't think that's very fair. I think I know where you're coming from, but because there are elements of the third game that are enjoyable. That is true. The edgy humor is still there. Some of the jokes still land. That's true. But the fact may be that although humor is subjective, you know, that much is true. Maybe as much as you enjoyed this, many more disproportionately speaking, many more people in the class of 09 fandom player base have come to dislike it. And those disagreements might be different from yours. And one way I suggest being able to understand that, maybe to try to put yourself in that perspective, put yourself in those shoes. To think about, okay, well, why do people dislike it so much? I don't quite understand it, right? Like the jokes are still as funny. They're still being mean and terrible people, and it's still funny when they do drugs and stuff, right? Like, I want to say as nicely as possible. I want to say that you would benefit from more perspective. That's what I'll say. It's not that your perspective is invalid. It's that you would benefit if you saw more than just your own perspective. In other words, take a step back and look at the bigger picture. We all know you're actually the alt account typing the comments. If I were typing furiously, this is what you would hear. Like that's the sound it would make. Okay. Okay. Let's wrap up, I guess. That's enough. I think that was enough in-depth commentary. I didn't think there'd be much to talk about, but I guess there is, but it's more just leftover, not leftover, but like things from the first few games that are now brought into light to discuss now in light of the recent third game and this recent Anime Pilot. I don't think anyone in chat today had a bad was being intentionally contrarian. I don't think that's true. I want to believe that's not true, at least. And so anyone who might disagree with me, I implore you to consider my perspectives and maybe come back with a different one of your own. You're free to disagree, but I would like to know why you disagree, you know? Because it's not enough to just say, well, you have your opinion and I have my own. That's how you get people with stupid opinions. I think it is important to consider the quality of people's opinion. Someone make a chairman fan cam. No, don't make a chairman. Don't. There's no reason to. There's no good reason to make a chairman fan cam. At least I'm not doing it, so whatever. Really, an old man can still draw? I can't draw. I don't draw anything in this channel. It's either copyright free like art, or it's commissioned from Art Team, who is credited in my stream descriptions. You can check Art Team out. They have she has fantastic work on her social medias and stuff. I didn't do any of this. This model wasn't me. It was none of this. I understand the point that people didn't like the game. I know they didn't like Nicole. Jackie gets the worst of it. Not much is there in choices alongside the finish. So like, I do think that is part of the reason why people don't like it, and that might be some parts of the community. But you know, we're not here to talk about the community at large because I don't care about the community at large. It's like most of them have bad opinions or incomplete ones, okay? My opinions are the best ones. Why? Because, you know, because I believe my opinions. But when we're talking about what I think about the game, my critiques were laid bare in the VOD and in the past few hours of this stream. Those are my main critiques. And you're free to disagree with them, but I would like to see good argumentation as to why. Look at Death Note and Sasuke from Naruto, and they're cringy, yet they were popular. Again, different times. Different times. Completely off topic. Have you watched Utena? What is Utena? No, I have not. Let me look that up. Have I been told to do it? No, I have not. No, I have not. I've not watched this. I've not been told to watch it either. I'm guessing you're referring to Revolutionary Girl Utena, a Japanese anime series created by Papas, a production group formed by director Kunihiko Ikuhara and composed of himself, Shiho Saito, Shinya Hasegawa. Yeah, those people. It's produced by JC staff and aired 1997. No, I've not watched that. I have not watched that. Like the draw, not very good at, but it's a fun hobby. That's good. Conclusion down with the flip side. No, I think, okay. Wrapping up thoughts. Have I seen Asobase? Okay, that's the last thing I'm Googling before I wrap up my thoughts and you guys distract me. What is this? I don't know. I have not seen it, but I'm gonna Google it now. What is this? What is this? No, I've not either. I've not even heard of this, now that I'm thinking about it. All girls middle school and the only 3 members of the Pastimers Club are not officially recognized club. This is very ambitious goals consisting of whatever so-called pastimes they happen to think up. It's a surreal comedy. Interesting. No, I have not watched this. No. But you put it on my radar, I guess. Have you seen Pokemon? Stop asking me questions though. No, I've has Chairman seen The Great Pretender? No, but I did intend to watch it a while ago. I just need to find the time for it. I only recently okay, hold on. Let me wrap up my thoughts and then I'll briefly talk about this. Let me just wrap up my thoughts really quickly. In conclusion, the pilot is not, it's fine, but not very promising. The pilot lands most, if not all, of the aesthetic qualities that make the first few games look the way they do and stand out from its crowd. It has the same edgy humor. It has the same like rapid pace, like very bleak, pessimistic view of what it's like to be a high schooler in 2009 America. And it has some semblance of an attempt to try to have an overarching plot. Unfortunately, it doesn't do very well in achieving most of it. It doesn't have the same bite as the original games. It doesn't have any really meaningful commentary. It doesn't do the interesting things that they used to do. Gonna let him actually end stream later. It's okay. You're not holding me hostage. It's fine. It's fine. I want to be on the stream. I want to talk about this. But in conclusion, that's how I feel about the pilot. Do I want there to be more episodes? Only if they're good. Only if they get better. And they could get better, but they could also get worse. So I don't know. If I want more episodes, they certainly need to be of a higher quality than this one, but mainly in terms of writing. Everything else kind of just works, I think. Maybe they could slow down the pace a bit and write jokes that are less snappy TikTok clips and more like longer structured jokes. Voices are good, animation is horrible. Okay, I wouldn't say the animation is horrible. The animation is low budget, is what it feels like. I don't think it's terrible. I think it's very low budget. The voices are stellar as usual, though. Yes, I don't think there's a single soul complaining about that will ever complain about the voice acting from these games. It's just like it is beyond incredible and game defining. In fact, it really is a game defining voice performance. Incredible. Sherman, do you know what a television is? Yes, I was around when they were a thing. Yes, I was. Have you played When the Darkness Comes? It's a realistic portrayal of depression and social anxiety. When the Darkness Comes. All right, what the hell is this? I'm looking this up too. Okay, no, sorry. Those are my final thoughts on 09, the pilot. If there are more episodes coming out, I might milk this further because people love watching me talk about Class of 09. I might just milk it further. Maybe I won't. We'll see what happens. I doubt they'll be able to come up with more than this though. But anyways, that is how I feel about it. If you want to debate me in comment sections, you can definitely do so. I'm more than open to it. You can come onto my streams and harass me too. You have my permission. But I would implore you to, before you do that, take a step back and think about the bigger picture. That's all I would implore you to do. Okay, that's everything on Class of 09. I'm gonna move over here now. Class of 09 is what I'm here for. That's what everyone's here for. all right. Now we can veer off topic a bit, just a little bit, and then I'm gonna end stream pretty soon. Probably in like 10-15 minutes. I'm gonna end stream probably. When the Darkness Comes. All right, let's Google it. Is it a song? No, it's not a song. It's a game on Steam. Walking Simulator, Glitchy and Darktale. Interesting. Not a lot of people have played it. It's 2019. It's a small indie game. Very positive reviews. Okay. Oh, it's free. Interesting. Tech Raptor review, Free Game Planet review. You know what? Maybe I'll stream this week. That actually does look good. All right, I'm bookmarking it. Thank you for the suggestion. Have I seen Madoka Magica? No, but I've heard of it, but I've not seen it. What was life like before color TV? It was weird. You would walk around and it was just manga panels everywhere. Like there's just no color. And then something happened. People like figured out the technology and they just started seeing colors again. Unironically though, and mildly spoilerish as well, I guess. I don't know, not really. One of my favorite novels is The Giver. I remember reading it a while ago. It's cool, and I do attribute one of the reasons why it's my favorite to that specific point of the story where I was like, where I just had I don't think I've ever had such a big reaction to something in a book before. It was that, I think. I've seen Black Rock Shooter. Is that like World of Warcraft? Black Rock Mountain is World of Warcraft. Okay. No, I've not seen this. Is this the type of stuff my audience watches? I need to know. Oh. Man, were you scared when you saw the train try to hit you through the big screen? I know movies are do it seem real to you, but they aren't. I do get quite immersed in films, that's for sure. Some of the backgrounds are lazy and the walk cycle sucks ass, but it's a solid milquetoast glass of water. Really interesting. I'll think about it. I might stream it in a few days. We'll see what I will stream. I'll have to figure it out. I've heard of circuses. They're all the rage. I happen to watch a clown. I happen to watch a jester from time to time, so I suppose that counts, yes. A certain jester that's very good at his job. You had more than $100,000 to work on this? I see. Well, clearly the budget didn't go to the writing. It's over. He's becoming a reaction streamer. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. Have you watched Sonny Boy asking this again? No, but I've been told to by numerous people to watch it. No. It takes a while to watch stuff because I don't want to just watch something new every day and then like glaze over it. Have it glaze over my eyeballs. I want to like really sit down and watch with it, right? Recently I watched two things. I finally finished Jujutsu Kaisen season 2. And I really wanted to like it, and there are parts of it that I think are pretty peak in terms of like battle shonen, but there are also parts where I'm like, oh, I don't know if I like this at all. I don't know. And then apparently, according to everyone I know who's read the manga, it just gets worse from here. So I don't know how to feel about it overall. But all I know is now I understand. Now I can see more clearly into the mind space of what it's like to be a Gojo fan, I guess, or like a Nanami fan. Is there a Karasu for no Discord? No, there is not, and I don't think there will be. If someone claims that for there to be one, it's fake, probably, or not fake, but like it was created by someone who's not me. If I crack and I decide to make a Discord, I'll announce it. But for now, no, that's not what I'm thinking about. Have you read a Slaughterhouse 5? No, I have not. I've heard of Slaughterhouse 5 though as well. I've heard it in discussions of Clockwork Orange. I don't know if they're all similar, but that's what I heard. A fundraiser to afford a Discord server. Have you read Demian by Herman Hiss? No, I have not. Actually, let me look it up because I remember hearing about it, but I don't remember what it's about. Demian. Story of boyhood. Interesting. 400 pages of German literature. Okay. 400 pages of German literature. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Read multiple Giver books? Yeah, I've only read the first one though, so I'm not sure. Hello, Chica. Nice to meet you. Greeting from Japan. You want an EN VTuber friend? Well, I mean, I am an EN VTuber. I'm so sorry I don't read Japanese, but welcome. I hope you enjoy the things. If you want an EN VTuber friend, there are a lot out there. But if you've come to pick me, then, well, all I must say is it's definitely a better choice than what most people would make. Will you read the Giver Quartet? Probably not. I don't think I will. And unfortunately, you did come a little late to the stream, but yes, that's what I've been talking about. This anime pilot that's come out, Class of 09. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's based on a game series. It's an adaptation of a game series that has a very controversial third game. I really don't like it, and I talk about it, but yes. Trend's very international. My audience is very international. I looked at my statistics recently, my viewership, my demographics, and the biggest portion of people were Americans, which is what I expected, but it was like 14%, and this was the highest percentage. Everyone else is from anywhere else. It's so strange. It's so strange. Being a Ghetto fan. I kind of am a Ghetto fan, actually. After watching JJK Season 2, I grew a lot more appreciation for Suguru Ghetto. He's probably one of the more interesting characters to me. Can't you make a Discord server for free? Yeah, so you can. The joke that someone was making earlier was like, he's so poor that he needs a fun because he can't even afford a free thing, which is like a Discord server. VTuber friends? Sure we are. Mr. Worldwide from Brazil. Yes, welcome. Greetings from. Thank you for your greetings from Brazil. Hello from the Library of Alexandria. But yes, I recently watched JJK the other day. Sorry, I finished JJK season 2. I also finished Silent Voice. Silent Voice is fantastic. Fantastic. What a phenomenal piece of work. I went into it expecting it to be kind of like Shinkai films. I have not watched much Shinkai film, many Shinkai films. I've watched 3 or 4, and I just don't like any of them. Koe no Katachi, I've heard that. I might, yeah. I'm sorry, no. I'm an idiot. Koe no Katachi is Silent Voice, right? Is it? There's like also a translation. I have to look it up because I'm not proficient in the language. It is Silent Voice, yeah. I have to look it up because Silent Voice is also not what the film is officially is, or rather, it is the official translation is Silent Voice, but the Japanese is like the shape of voice, right? Is that right? I believe it's like the shape of voice, and so there are some translation differences. Did I cry? I got really close. I got really close. For like 40% of the film, I was on the verge of tears. Very good. You played any of the Persona games? Not yet. I have Persona 5. I'm thinking of playing it, but it's such a long thing that I don't know if I want to stream it. I might play it off stream, but it's also such a big time commitment. I played and enjoyed Fire Emblem 3 Houses, so, and I've been told that you should play Persona 5 then. I go, okay, I guess I will. I have the game, yet to play it. Our Japanese VTuber friend might have left chat. That's unfortunate. I get it. It's busy. You're busy. Is she debuting? Is that why? You can't, like, there's no reason any VTubers should go in my chat, because it's like, what do you gain from this? I have 300 subscribers. I am a nobody. You gain nothing from being here, trying to, you know, push clout. I don't know. Whatever. I'll check. I'll whatever. I have yet to deal. I have yet to. I want to be. It's like 5 a.m. What is she doing? I don't know. I mean, I won't judge people for being awake at 5 a.m. lurking VTuber streams though, or maybe not lurking, but like talking in VTuber streams though. I respect it. Networking is a thankless hobby. It's one way. It's certainly one way to do it, to pop into my stream and network. But that is definitely better than just like following on Twitter and then liking like 2 tweets and then, you know, just like 5K subscribers. What's she doing here then? What's she doing here? I am nothing. You should go find a real VTuber. You should go find a real VTuber to, you know, befriend. That's an EN VTuber, you know? I'm kidding. I'm making the joke is that I'm very cynical, and I'm not taking. I don't believe that she actually does intend to network and be friends, and she's just trying to self-promote, which is a very uncharitable take. She wants an English-speaking friend. I mean, it's great. That's me. Cool. When is Sharon playing Fire Emblem Engage? I don't have Engage yet, but like I've thought about. I want to do one more round of 3 houses first. Unfortunately, currently I can't stream Switch games. I just haven't found a way to do it yet. I've explained this last stream or a few streams ago when I was talking about it. Unfortunately, I don't have a clip channel, so it's gonna be hell to dig through and find. So I'll repeat myself again. I can't play anything on the Switch at the moment because my setup is jank and it does not allow me to hook up my capture card and my, you know, Switch console and like the dock and everything. So if you're expecting more Switch games like Tears of the Kingdom and 3 Houses, I'm so sorry. For the moment, they're kind of abandoned. For the moment, they might come back soon. Practice the thankless hobby of networking, chairman. You're telling the philosophy major who's stuck in the library all day to go out and talk to people? Do you understand what you're saying? Said the model and voice are cool. I think generally is interested. Could be, yeah. I'm not too skeptical. Yes. I hope you understand me if you're still here. If not, then you know, have a good day. But yeah, I don't mean any malice. I hope like none of this gets. I hope she doesn't misunderstand this and like interprets this as malice. I don't mean that at all. I hope you're doing fine. But also, it's like I speak Japanese, and so I'm a little hesitant in communicating and networking with people who I don't have a common tongue with, and it's my fault. Like it's a skill issue on my part. I should have learned Japanese. I can't. How do I say I don't speak Japanese? My Nihongo is not Jozu, yeah. She said it's kakui. Okay, thank you for the translation. I couldn't. Maybe I'll go back through the VOD and go through the chat later. But yeah, making friends as a VTuber is pretty fruitful. Mutual's VTuber 10,000 followers from a VTuber venture from 3 years ago. Interesting. I do think it's cool. I do think it's worthwhile. I'm personally just like, it's not my favorite part of the thing. It's not my favorite part is not necessarily the making friends with VTubers. My favorite part of it is more just streaming it and doing and like executing on ideas I've had originally and just playing video games. But and also because in the indie scene, most of the networking that's done is very surface level. It's very like follow for follow, join my debut, be a part of the debut train, you know, like all of that, which is I think a positive energy, but not very genuine positive energy. I would much prefer someone ridicule me if they do so earnestly than someone saying I'm cool just for the sake of like an appearance, right? Japanese Duolingo stream, god, maybe. But yeah, it does. English learning stream seems to be putting in a very strong effort to learn collab with VTubers about nationalities. Oh, you're like on her profile? Okay, I was gonna say I'll probably like click on her because I'll click on her profile to check it out. Because I've yet to have been networked in chat before. That was the first time I've been networked. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. All the best. All the best to her. Hope she goes well. Gotta prepare all tomorrow to send a message to another person. Just remember. Yeah, like I take way too long and way too much effort to draft up a message or an email or prepare for a call. I'm just not built for it. Unreal for me. Unreal. Chairman, meaning to ask, but do you have an art tag on Twitter? Not really. No, I might draw something. Do not hold me to that. It's okay. I won't hold you to anything. I've had chatters come and say I would really like to draw something, and they ended up probably not having the time to do it. Not at all. I'm not at all the type of person to be like, hey, you said you would do that. Why didn't you do that? I don't, you know, I understand people have things going on in their lives. If you would like to and you'd be so inclined, just post it and tag me. I know, so VTubers normally have art tags, so, you know, they don't get pinged every time there's fan art of them. But that is a problem I don't have. because, and it was a problem I would like to have, but I don't. So until it is a problem, until I get too many notifications of people drawing me or tagging me and stuff, which I don't have that problem at all. If you tag me in anything, I'll see it. And it will not happen very frequently. But yeah, if you draw something, just at me, and I'll see it, and it'll probably be good, because if you're basing it off of something that's already this incredible, it can't be too far behind at all if it is, if it doesn't even exceed it, right? So we'll see. Japanese is like N4 and 3. Enough to do basic translation. I see. That's very talented multilingual people here. Very good. Better than me. So this isn't someone like debuting and like networking to like get their foot off the ground. This was like someone who's been on the grind for a while looking to network more. That's crazy. That I did not expect. It's not that I don't think very highly of myself. I do. It's just I don't think very highly of most people. I'll have to check her out. And you know what? If I check her out and I like her, maybe you should all check her out too. I don't know. All like 5 of you. I don't know. How many people in the stream? How many people were in the stream today? Oh shit. Oh, okay, that's like more than you. Oh yeah, it's a class. I forget it's a class of 09 stream. Of course, there's gonna be more people than usual. Only know Naruhodo. I don't even Naruhodo, dude. I can pronounce some of the words, just like okay, but not beyond that. Not at all. I can read a little bit of kanji, I think. Yes. It's pretty legit. Well, that's cool. It's good to know. Happy to see more people in my chat, whether you are another content creator, VTuber or not. Happy to see you. I hope that everything in this stream, which has been a little heated, it's been a little not controversial. I bring things up that are controversial. I don't think I did anything that was particularly controversial. I feel like I laid out my points quite reasonably well. But I hope it all came across well, and generally I don't have any malice or negative intention. When I shit on the third game of 09, I mean it in the sense that I wish it was better, not that I wish it would die forever and never, you know, maybe there's a bit of that too, but ultimately I'd rather it be good than not exist. Have to do an exchange program in 3rd year, getting to N2 by end of 2026 and not sounding like a very achievable plan. You should definitely try, and if not, go for the exchange anyways. Exchange programs are amazing. Anyone who has an exchange opportunity should try to do it. Gun for the exchange program opportunity. It's so good for you. And try to go somewhere that you wouldn't normally go. That's, you know, obviously within your budget and means and personal comfort. You know, don't be too far away from your personal comfort, unless that's, you know, unless you yourself are fine with that. But go out and explore a little bit. Exchange programs are good. Meeting new people is good. Being in new environments is good. Seeing more of the world cannot be a bad thing, really. It might be a more depressing thing, because once you see a lot of the world, you'll be a bit more depressed, and that you can never reclaim the blissful ignorance that you once had. But it is what it is. And hey, I'm a philosophy major. I've already experienced that, so I might be biased, but learn that when you get Nihongo Jozu, it's not because your Japanese is shit, it's because they want to make you feel good. You're genuinely impressed by a foreigner that speaks it. Yeah, I've heard as well that people there are generally, like when they say that, they mean it in a good way, not like it's not ironic at all. Ironic humor and banter is not quite a thing in among the Japanese populace. If I were to make a very broad, sweeping, general assumption from the very limited knowledge I have of the place and the culture, but you know, that's just me making assumptions. Don't make too many assumptions. It's not good. Your premises are not strong if you make too many assumptions. The person we were arguing with left, the chat's pretty placid. The person who you were arguing with, and to some extent I was arguing with as well because I didn't agree with their opinion. I don't think they had any malice either. I think they genuinely had a disagreement, but it's hard to express your disagreements in like a YouTube chat box because it's like just a small chat box. I hope that they gain a new perspective and perhaps watch my VODs and see where I'm coming from more. And I hope they agree with me, of course, because I think I'm right, but maybe not. All right. Do I want to talk? Oh, okay. If I brought it up, I might as well briefly talk a bit about Silent Voice and then I'll end the stream. Silent Voice is incredible. Absolute fantastic work of art. Koe no Katachi. Beautiful, beautiful work. Not at all what I expected. I came in expecting Shinkai film, and I'm notoriously kind of a hater. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. I am kind of a hater. I'll address this in February. I'll address it in February. But I'm kind of a Shinkai film hater, okay? I am. I just think was it Makoto Shinkai, I think? Yeah, I just don't think he's cooking for most things. I think he has a very, very limited amount of cooking he does for the amount of praise he gets. But anyways, I went into Silent Voice expecting that, and it was not at all that. It totally blew my expectations out of the water. It was such a real characterization of people and of you know, as far as I'm aware, someone who is, what's the word for when you can't speak? Is it dumb? Which is like, you know, it's a bad way to, it's a difficult word because we use dumb synonymously with stupid now. What's the word for when you can't speak? No, she can't hear. She can speak. She can't hear. Sorry, she's deaf. It's a very good portrayal. I'm sorry. I just watched this the other day. I couldn't even remember. I'm an idiot. Dumb and mute either. Yeah. That's not what I was trying to say. I was trying to say she was deaf and I'm a complete fucking idiot. I must apologize. I must apologize. That I'm bringing this up and then immediately screwing up the premise of the thing I'm bringing up and trying to make a point on it. No, the point rather is this came out the same year with Kimi no Na wa, like Your Name. Robbed, completely robbed. We're gonna get ableist allegations. No, it's just me being an idiot. Hopefully. God, I hope not. I'm gonna get canceled before February. So I can't believe it lost to Your Name. I can't believe it lost to Kimi no Na wa. How? Your Name was fine. I thought Your Name was pretty okay. That's how I thought Your Name was. And it lost to that. It lost awards to that film. I can't believe it. With how fantastic, you know, Silent Voice is. Tisk, tisk. Tisk, tisk. The people, as usual, have inferior opinions to mine. It lost to Boss Baby. Oh, it did. But like, I'll talk about that more in February. But Silent Voice was incredible. I have not much to say about it beyond that because it's like I don't know much about what it talks about. So I'm not going to pretend like I have something profound to say. I really don't, beyond just my highest of praises. Really incredible film. Why will you address it in February? Okay, so February is when I do a themed month based on the ideas and topic of romance. Tis the season of love, right? Is the way the romantics put it, the poets put it. I am neither of those things. I don't really care for romance content. I've never really consumed anything that's a romance that I really enjoyed, save for Kaguya-sama Love is War. That's the only thing that is romantically driven that I liked. I generally don't like it. And I want to know why I don't like it. I want to dive into it deeply. And so what better time to do that than in the month of Valentine's, right? And so that's the plan for February. I don't think I've ever introduced it like that before, but that's what's cooking in February. That is what's happening. All of the related concepts, all the things, yeah. Saw both, but I still think you prefer Kimi now. I like the world building a lot in that. Yeah, I don't want to like this. When I say, oh, it's so much better, I mean it like I forget to say it. I say this as like the resident Shinkai hater. I'm just like a Shinkai hater, right? But I play it up as a bit. Like I don't actually despise the films that much. I enjoy the animation is still like easily some of the greatest you'll ever see in anime in history. The settings and the world building is always incredible in a lot of his films. Score is good. So I know some people don't like Red Wimps and think they're like overplayed, but I think Red Wimps is fine. But it's just personally myself, because I'm just the resident romance hater. I don't like it nearly as much as I like Silent Voice, because I think Silent Voice deals with themes that I care about more. But that's just my, that's my preference speaking. If we don't do at least one ASMR stream in February, it'll be a little sad. I will not do an ASMR stream just because it's February. I promised I would do one, or I would do ASMR. I don't know if I said stream. Did I say stream? Maybe I said stream or video. Probably stream. I said I would do one for a subscriber milestone. That's if I get to like 1,000 subs. Is what I said. And if that is the promise of that milestone, and I also do it in February, I feel like it would cheapen the milestone. And because of that, I'm not going to do it in February. Have you seen Toradora? No, but I've also been told to watch that. It's on my mind. It's on my mind. February is when he does mitosis, so he could have his own romantic partner. No, you're spoiling the plot. No, that's not what's going on. It's just a themed month where I explore certain things and I do certain things. Yeah. That's all. It's just like, because people ask me those questions, I think it's best for me to do it all in that themed month for it, it'll be seasonal. Can't relate love romance. Fair enough. I know people do. I know they do. Can't think of a single romance that I enjoyed. Damn. We out here. Hell yeah. Romance hater nation. Let's do it. But I'm gonna try to be charitable. I'm gonna try to, be charitable in February. The only one you've watched is Kaguya as well. Okay, then yeah, then you'll probably get where I'm coming from. What about analyzing stories? So that might be part of what I do in February. Is I'll try to, maybe I'll watch one or two things. I don't know what I'll watch exactly. I'll watch a few things and then I'll talk about them on stream. Probably the staples of the romance staples. I'll dive into. Maybe we'll have just a stream where we discuss them in general rather than in specifics. We do that as well. I can complain and rant about how people miss the point of Titanic and how it's not romantic. It's actually it's a grim tragedy about class war. Maybe people will be around for that stream. Oh, don't really watch any romance, but I do read a lot of Yuri. Oh, I see. Yaoi and Yuri is based. Well, I mean, I imagine the overlap between people who enjoy Yaoi and Yuri and people who watch Karasu for Noir is quite large. That is just all I will say. Big fan of lesbians. Oh, me when I play Class of 09. I can't imagine anyone who's into Class of 09 who's not a big fan of lesbians, I'm gonna be honest. When can we get an SFW yaoi fanfic for the chairman to read on stream? Here's something I will expose a little bit, just because it's come on stream and just because I get to celebrate having another Class of '09 stream going on, which means I get a little bit more viewership than usual. Haha, hee hee. Is I've been sent by art team numerous, well, not numerous, like several SFW yaoi fanfics, along with the request to read them on stream, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe our team doesn't have time to watch my streams anyway, so it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You won't even know when I finally do those streams. I'm a big fan of lesbians too. I would imagine. I was gonna make the joke reading Citrus in February. What's Citrus again? I've heard about it. It's a manga, right? It's a Yuri series. Okay. There's a television adaptation. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I'll read this. I was kind of like, my eyes were kind of glazing through the plot description, and then I read at the bottom, it's like, starting to develop romantic feelings for her new stepsister. I'm like, okay, I don't know if I'm gonna read that. I don't know if I'm for that. I did kind of Cash juveniles for the lesbians. I think I'm for everyone. I like to think. I don't think I'm exclusively for lesbians. Although that seems to be a larger than usual population of lesbians in my streams, largely because I covered Class of '09. So that could be it. Maybe I just have to cover, I'll have to just cover some, maybe I'll just have to cover something that's like, that appeals to like the gay men. And then I'll have the Infinity Gauntlet assembled of like 100% gay for like my entire viewer base. Marriage talks and it's straight yaoi. Okay, I'm not here for the yaoi Yuri recommendations yet. Maybe give them to me in February, okay? I've heard them, I've heard some of them. Brokeback Mountain watch along. Okay, those will go later. Those happen later. Those happen in a different stream. This is the Class of '09 stream, which has been going on for way too long. I've expressed my thoughts already. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you everyone for watching me watch it and talk about it. I really spent, what, 15 minutes watching it and then 3 hours ranting about it. I must apologize. This is just who I am as a person. Hopefully that resonates with you. If it doesn't, I understand. That's where I will leave it. If there is more Class of '09 content to come, I will do another Class of '09 stream. You bet I will. It's this is the stuff that does numbers. But if there isn't, I'm not gonna squeeze blood out of stone. That's not what I will do. A 3-hour stream for a 12-minute pilot, exactly. That's all my thoughts on Class of '09. That's all my all my thoughts on the first game, the second game, the third, especially the third. Goodness. I have nothing else to say beyond schedule's coming out soon. Next, I will probably put the schedule out to this evening, tonight / tomorrow. I will stream probably Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. There's probably gonna be a few less streams. I just still haven't decided what to do on Tuesday yet. Actually, now that we're towards the end, maybe just some quick suggestions for maybe if you have any suggestions, leave them to me in the chat or like in a comment for what to do on Tuesday. I don't know what I'm playing on Tuesday. I am going to read a short story from Dostoevsky on Thursday, and I am going to do a karaoke stream on Saturday. More Papas. Maybe, but I was thinking something with the Christmas theme. Maybe we can find a Papa's game that's a Christmas theme. We'll see. Watch the Yuri on Ice movie. You mean the Yaoi on Ice movie? Maybe. So you have that to look forward to. I'll put a schedule up soon. There's a Christmas karaoke next Saturday. There's some streams going on. I hope people enjoy those things. I will leave now. We're not playing Fear and Hunger. I don't think it's streamable, unfortunately. If it weren't for YouTube probably killing and nuking the VOD, I would not be averse to playing Fear and Hunger. Because as gross and vile as the game is, there's some elements of it I've been told that are quite interesting to think about. So, if it weren't for the fact that YouTube would destroy my VOD, then yeah, I would play it. You can get a censorship mod for the game, it's borderline mandatory. But then it's like, I don't know if I want to do that because I want to experience the game as it is, you know? I don't like to censor things when they were created with the intention to not be censored, you know what I mean? So, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. No more of that. Make a Twitch and stream it there. Wouldn't Twitch destroy me as well? I don't know, actually. I don't know what goes on Twitch. Ooh, censorship? You and me both. You and me both. Alright, but that's all. I'm leaving now. Have fun, everyone. Have a good day. I will post a schedule soon, and you will see what I'm up to next week. And if you're interested, drop by. I want to ask people, if you are dropping by the karaoke stream on Saturday, to lower your expectations despite what everyone else will say, because I'm not very good. But it'll be fun, and that's what matters. What matters is it will be fun. Okay, goodbye. It's funny, I never thought there'd be another Class of 09 stream again. Like, I did the flip side one, I put all my energy in it, and I was like, we're never gonna get another one. It's cooked. The entire thing's just cooked. It's over. There's no more. There's never gonna be another Class of 09 again. It's horrible. It's horrendous. It came out with the Anime Pilot. Someone in chat told me yesterday, and I was like, you know, maybe I do have one last Class of 09 stream in me. I do have it in me. Yes, I can do it. Yeah. That's all. No more of that.